Did you hear about that? How I got like metal demonetized like within the first 3 seconds of the
Yeah,
last stream I was on.
just
What
talked
you
some
don't
silly
don't
stuff,
say what you said.
and
Don't say what you said. But
yeah,
okay.
I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it's funny.
I think I do. I'm not going to repeat
It
it,
could
but
have been something in the middle somewhere, to be honest, but it was just like
Right, like your nose point.
it was pretty
yeah.
pretty spot on in the beginning, and then after the stream was concluded, it's just like limited ads or something. It's like, oh yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, I think that started like a series of like guest appearances I made on other people's streams where it got demonetized, and meanwhile none of my streams have gotten demonetized except for the Isaac
But you were
ones, but that wasn't because of me.
this rogue element wondering about getting things demonetized.
Yeah.
You're the demonetizer.
I mean, I've already learned how weird that demonetization thing is anyway, because Mahler and I were both streaming God of War basically at the same point, and some of mine got demonetized and his weren't. So yeah, it's just random. It feels like, at least with gaming content.
Oh yeah.
It's
Meanwhile,
yeah.
I accidentally showed a dick on screen
Uh-oh.
on one of my streams by complete accident. I was looking through comments on a very funny porn video, because anything can happen on my streams, and I'd forgotten to blur out one of the profile pictures, and I didn't realize until about 3 seconds in, it was like, oh fuck, red rocket, shit.
Red rockets. That's the panic mode. You're just doing things and you don't expect it. It's like, I'm safe here, and all of a sudden, oh god, no.
Oh yeah, but that's what we call an oversight.
yeah. That's how it goes. Hey Chad, how's it going? Welcome to the first Forge of the year. That was quite a longer hiatus than I thought I would take. Because for people who weren't aware, I was visiting the Long Man. We just weren't doing all kinds of shenanigans over on his channel, playing Gears of War and the PSP God of Wars as well as Ascension. It was a great time, and I was like, hey, we're probably just gonna do a Forge randomly because we're gonna watch movies. But we were pretty tight on time. Like, we were pretty effective with the things we did. And it was pretty good. It was good stuff. But yeah, now I know next time I'm just gonna have some Forges in the can so I can just put them out in case I'm not available. But yeah, I've been trumbling some stuff on here before. So yeah, been played through Demon Souls, the remake, finally. Got that out of the way. And now I'm currently playing Dead Space 1, the original, in preparation for the remake that comes out in 5 days? Yeah. 5-6 days or something. It's 27th. Yeah, next Friday. So yeah, gonna be finishing that I say next week, which starts tomorrow. So probably I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. Yeah, lots of happening on my side already. I'm already a busy boy. I have lots of plans of covering things and finally putting out a mainline video again because it's been way too long. With that John Wick 2 video, I've been just working on that on and off, but I don't know, I never got in the groove. But now I've already worked a couple of more hours on that, and I'm kind of in the groove now. So I'm gonna do that every day as much as I can, while preparing Forges, doing the Star Trek podcast with Jay. So yeah, I'm also gonna be covering a bunch of games. It's probably like 1 or 2 games every month, the way it looks right now. Because
At least for the next little while. Yeah, it seems that way.
And I have them all on my list. I'm going to be covering the Dead Space remake, and I'm going to be talking about Atomic Heart. Then later, what else is coming out? We got Wu Long Fallen Dynasty, that's coming out. Probably going to talk about that. Resident Evil 4 remake, that's for sure going to be talked about. Yeah. Lots of stuff to do. I'm gonna be pumping them out, and not only mean my ween meat. I mean the Forges, and demonetized. Anyway, yeah. What's up with you guys? I mean, we already talked, but what's up? What's going on? Oh, not everyone at
Who
once.
wants to go first? Yeah.
Ladies
I'm
first.
just, I'm okay. I'm just working on I'm working on stuff. I'm not.
Yeah.
I wanna stream Dead Space, but like that's all I got in terms of like immediate stuff. Everything else is just in the dungeon working on working on stuff. So nothing to really.
Oh, I didn't
talk
mean
about
like
at the
like
moment.
announcing anything. Just how's the year been
Yeah.
treating you so far, basically?
It's been alright.
Yeah.
I'm playing Dead Space. That's
Nice.
been really fun. Replaying it, like that game is so cool.
Yeah, holds
Something I
up
was actually
incredibly
thinking
well.
about as I was playing it yesterday, in the context of everything that's going on with Halo. Something that I was wondering was like, why have they never like tried to? They've done Halo Wars, but like it's kind of interesting that they never tried to expand into other genres that they could do. Like, imagine if you had a survival horror game in the Halo universe where, like, you're a marine who has to fight through, like, the flood.
Yeah, I could see
Yeah.
that work
strikes me as
easily.
a worthwhile idea to explore in terms of other options. You know, like these very. But who knows now? Man, am I actually going to spin this off into me complaining about everything with Halo? Is that what I'm about to do here? We don't
Plenty
need
to
to
complain
do that.
about.
The
Yeah.
TLDR is that it's Halo might actually might sort of cease
Oh.
for a while. That seems like a possibility more so than it's ever been before. In the wake of the layoffs with Microsoft and like the Xbox 343. Yeah. So who knows what the future of that series holds.
Yeah.
But for the meantime, I'll just be playing Dead Space, and then hopefully
Yeah.
the remake this week, barring any crazy technical issues.
Mm-hmm. For
Well,
me,
what are you doing? Yeah.
have you heard of the Tale of Sisyphus?
Wait, that's the guy pushing the boulder up the hill, right?
Yeah, and then it goes
Yeah.
back down again. So that's kind of been my life, where it looked, because back when Kevin Conroy unfortunately passed away, I figured, okay, I'm going to dedicate a stream to him, and I'm going to make it a really good stream. And then it took a couple more weeks than I thought it would to get that together, and then a bunch of other shit ended up happening, so I couldn't work on it at all for like a month or two. And then I finally got back to doing it. And then it was like, yes, this week is going to be the week of the stream. And then it turns out, oh no, it's a little bit more work than I expected. The next week, oh no, it's a little bit more work. Oh no, it's a little. And meanwhile, I've also got Aquaman on the back burner. And I want to get both of them done before February 12th, because that's when I'm going on a nice little cruise, so I can relax. And I don't want to be thinking about things that I have on the back burner while I'm trying to just party it up and just relax on the open ocean on my way to New Zealand. So I'm hoping, I'm praying to the forces of the cosmic verse that I can get that Kevin Conroy stream out this Wednesday, and then after that I go on a little hiatus while I just cram in Aquaman, get that done. And then I go on vacation.
Woo.
and then we do something, and then I do something else when I'm back. I'm actually thinking. I was thinking about how I schedule my work, and I'm thinking about maybe like scheduling it month to month or something, where like 1 month is like just a month of stream repository, and then there's a month of like my own videos, and then I do a month of EFAT movies, and then I kind of just cycle, and then maybe I take a break for a month, and then I start all over again. Maybe that's going to be how I do things from now on. I'm trying to figure out sustainable habits.
Yeah.
I read the book Atomic Habits recently. It was very good.
Yeah, that.
Oh, you read that too? Yeah,
I listened to the audiobook for Atomic Habits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, same here. It was the audio book. Yeah, I found that to be, because it kind of lined up with how I was already kind of starting to do things, because like the idea of making systems and not aiming for goals, instead creating sustainable, that kind of thing. But it's one thing to kind of start veering in a certain direction. It's another thing to see it kind of laid out in a structured way that kind of helps you make sense of it. So that was really helpful for me. So I'm trying to basically apply those principles with most aspects of my life, but also with the content creation side, because that's been a bit all over the place. So I want to figure out a more consistent system that I can sustain. So that's me.
That sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. Yeah, I got myself a whiteboard where I write all kinds of things out. Yeah, because when I was at Mahler's, I saw like, oh, he's got a whiteboard. That's actually a good idea. And as soon as I came back home, Amazon, I want that. So yeah, I have all these things there, and then I've written down all the things I might and will do, and I might regret my life choices in March, but we'll see. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting a couple of whiteboards myself. One for my room where I have the editing set up and stuff, so I can just write down more general ideas, and then one for my I converted my spare room into an exercise room because when the hell am I going to actually need a spare room versus a place where I exercise? So I want to put it in there so I can actually write down exercises to do, because I keep forgetting what exercises I want to do that day. I keep having to go into my phone, go onto the playlist I made of different exercises. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. So I want to just streamline that a little bit.
Yeah, it's easier for sure.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, the last Forge we did, even Fringy was for that as well. There it was 25,000 views. I almost fell out of my chair when that started happening. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad people have been enjoying those. Yeah, the number just kept getting higher. I was like, is this a bug? This is weird. This is weird for me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. People have been enjoying that one. I didn't expect the people to care about Avatar that much, to be honest. But we also didn't think it's gonna make 2 billion. But apparently today it actually passed $2 billion.
Yeah, it has.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Zoe Saldana is now in 4 films that passed 2 billion. So you got to think that a lot of his executives are looking just like, can we get Zoe Saldana in our picture? That might be the deciding factor, with the how executives think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Though it seems like Avatar 2 is gonna end up beating out Force Awakens and Infinity War. Whether it beats and maybe Titanic as well. If it beats out Endgame, though, that's maybe
possibly
not as clear. If it did, though, that's like, oh, okay. So I guess there is like everybody really likes Avatar. I guess.
Would have forgot to change the thumbnail. No, it's the right one. I'm seeing it here in my edit settings. It's the correct one.
Why would you guys write a metal like this? Look, Puss in Boots, he's got his little banjo, or whatever that one's called.
Because I checked it, I made that mistake before. But yeah, no, sometimes YouTube does a floomp up. Maybe reload the glib globs or something.
It is actually coming up as the previous. This is what it looks like on my side. So make of that what you will.
That's weird, because I created it with the new thumbnail. I didn't change it after, so I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, I think that's a YouTube fuck up right there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've seen that before. I don't know why that happens. It's just a YouTube thing, I guess. I'm curious how it looks on my end here. If I go to my, no, it's fine on my phone. So yeah, I don't know. Just happens. I guess.
In regards to the Avatar 2 thing, I wonder, because that film was released in 3D, right?
Yes,
so
it
that
was.
would factor in, I imagine.
I paid like 23 euro for that ticket.
So I wonder how much that contributes to the overall box office performance.
I mean, people seem to actually really enjoy that movie. While I was over at Mute Place, I was on Drinkers Open Bar twice, I think. Yeah, it was twice. And we talked about it a little bit, and there was people in chat who was like, yeah, I've seen it 5 times now. It was like, what?
Oh.
Okay. Crazy. Yeah, people really like that movie, apparently. I mean, I liked my first viewing of it. It was nice to look at, and then I started talking about it and think about it, and it's like, this is actually not that good.
I didn't. It was just as it got to the third act, it was like, right, so we're screwed.
The thing is that
we're done.
That whole day was kind of like a good time, so I was in pretty good spirits when I went into the movie. I had a friend over the weekend, and we just went to a Crimbus market, and we had some food and stuff, and it's like, oh, let's.
That's the reason why you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
having a good day.
He was
didn't
just
want to ruin it. By,
yeah, because he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, do you gotta watch that for your stream?" It's like, I don't know, I didn't plan on it. It's like, but if you're gonna watch it, I'm gonna go with you, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Which, in hindsight, was apparently a pretty good idea.
Evidently, yeah.
Seems that way.
This is. You know what? This might be worthwhile. I actually watched the first Puss in Boots movie after only a few days ago.
How's that one?
Um, it's like so utterly. Like, that's basically what I would say. Like
Okay.
this film is a marked improvement.
Yeah.
Like it's not like that one's really bad or anything. It's just so like run of the mill and like just like mediocre.
Does it have the
I don't
same
think it's-
animation style, or is it just
No, it
normal
doesn't.
animation?
And that's
More
something
Shrek.
as well as like
Ah,
it's way more in keeping with the because that came out like 10 or 11 years ago. It's just
Yeah.
it's just not a very interesting film. That'd probably be a good way to describe it. It's not. It doesn't do anything particularly interesting. It doesn't have anything especially meaningful to say.
yeah.
Okay. It's just like you can watch it and I didn't laugh once, which is not great, but
Mm.
but yeah, it's
I think there were a couple of pretty great jokes in the new one.
Well,
Yeah.
so the relevant part would be: do you need to watch Puss in Boots 1 to watch the second
No.
one and understand it? It's like,
No.
no. Seemingly watching the first one, it doesn't even really help me at all. In fact, now I have a couple of questions.
Oh, okay.
If anything. But yeah. But I also watched Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, which were much more entertaining and are much better films.
I think I watched the-
Kung Fu Panda 1 in particular.
Yeah, I remember watching that one. I think that one was pretty good, actually, if I recall correctly, right?
Kung Fu Panda is great,
Yeah,
as
okay.
far as I'm concerned. It's one of DreamWorks' better films.
It's nice
one
to
of their
hear
best
that
films.
when you watch the movie. I think I said it last night when we did the recording of the movies, which I'm not going to tell everyone what it is because it's probably going to be a surprise at some point. I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's nice to go back to movies we've seen before, and they hold up really well. It's always really nice.
Well, something that was relevant with Kung Fu Panda was that's a good example of a really straightforward story told well. It's quintessential hero's journey. It touches on some pretty fundamental, themes and messages that are like pretty universally acceptable and agreeable. And it does so very effectively through like several characters, and it has several great characters who go on good arcs. It's a very expedient film as well. It's only an hour and a half, and it achieves a ton in an hour and a half, compared to, again, Avatar 2, which is twice as long and has way less character than something like Kung Fu Panda. So yeah. I mean, it's true though. Like Avatar 2. Wait, we don't need to talk about it again.
No, I think we did that in enough. Also, should
I
probably
might summon Mubsley again to rant about General Man.
That was so funny. That's probably my favorite part of the Forge. just phones in, basically. So I'm going to open the Dr. Pepper of the Forge for today.
Do you drink a lot of
As is
Dr. Pepper?
tradition.
Is that like your favorite drink?
It's not my favorite, but I like it a lot. And there's a zero sugar version these days as well, so
Ooh.
yeah. I mean, I basically only drink those zero sugar versions. I actually like them better these days.
You like them better?
Yeah, I actually do.
Is that like, have you like tricked yourself into feeling that way, do you think, or?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just like them better now.
When I've never liked Coke Zero.
I didn't like it in the
You know,
beginning, and then they changed the recipe at some point. And I tried it again, and then I actually liked it again. So yeah.
I'm
Okay,
going to
yeah.
throw my hat in with Team Sugar Free because I find with a lot of sugary drinks, they kind of leave, that residue on your tongue that I kind of find a bit gross. So I don't get that with the sugar free one. So I think that's, well, outside also like the weight gain stuff, but that's probably the reason I prefer the sugar free versions of certain soft drinks. Unless it's lemonade,
yeah.
sugar free lemonades.
Yeah. Cherry Coke be the shiz. Yeah, like all those cherry and vanilla. I'm all for that stuff. Give it to me. I like it. Yeah, I'm still kind of trying to get in a, I don't know, normal schedule of sleeping, kind of. my body is still not recovered from the vacation. It's like, why are you getting up so early? It's like, I'm sorry, I have to work again. Yeah, it's that's just a
I
thing
had
you
something
need to get
profound
used
to
to.
say, and I forgot it.
Hmm?
I had something profound to say, and I completely forgot it. And now I'm
Oh.
kind of like this part of my brain trying to dig it up from my subconscious, and it's just not working.
Maybe it comes back to you at some point.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hey, but hey, we're here to talk about a movie. See, I can do
Yes, we
words
are.
even if they don't make sense.
Boots and Puss.
Yes, exactly. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and well, actually starting the first forge with a good movie. Can you imagine?
Whoa!
Let me guarantee you, this is not gonna stay that year. I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of flumpy, mid, and stuff, as always.
You
But
feel it in your bones.
let's not talk about this right now. Let's talk about Puss in Boots, because that movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. Should we do the classic little blurbins as
Sure.
I kind of like that in the beginning. So yeah, go left to right. Fringy, you go start.
So I think that Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish is pretty solid. That's a film that I really, really like. There's a lot of things to commend it for, which have already essentially been commended by everybody who's seen the film. The animation and art style is fantastic. It's a really energetic and fun and entertaining movie, but at the same time, it also has something to say, and has something to say that I think is meaningful, and it does so in an incredibly effective and mature way. It's a really worthwhile movie. That would be like a good way to describe it. It's a film that I would recommend to basically anybody. I don't think it's perfect. I don't know that I hold it in quite as high regard as I think most people seem to, but that's not to denigrate it really at all. I still think it's a really solid movie. And a lot of that is bolstered by great character work, really strong thematic through line, and yeah, like really, really fantastic animation and art. I really like it. That's my take. Please write more.
Please
do make more.
Yeah.
Do make more films like this, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna hang myself on that little nail
You're
there
gonna
as
hang
well.
yourself.
Yeah, I'll do. Maybe someday. Hopefully not.
This
No,
isn't Gartic.
I really enjoy the movie as well. Like the art style is great. Like from the get go, I think I messaged Fringy like 5 minutes after I started watching. It's like, this movie looks amazing. I love it already just for that. Yeah, I like the characters. The themes we have in this movie are pretty mature, which surprised me greatly. Even after you told me about it, Fringy, it's like, it can't be that mature. It's like, oh, okay, we're doing that, all right, which we will get into, of course. And yeah, the animation. There's some action scenes in this movie where I'm like, damn, this is way better than it has any right to be. This is really good. This is a really good, gripping action, actually. Because the movie makes me believe that the main character actually has a chance to die. And I was like, oh shit, I don't know. Maybe this is going to have like a not so happy ending. Which surprised me. But yeah, it was really good. I was really engaged in the movie. I had a good time watching it. And yeah, I would recommend it to anyone as well. It's really good. Yeah, that's my blurb. Meme, your turn.
Yeah, I'm not going to be breaking the mold with my reaction, because I basically have the same thing to say as you guys, which is just I had an absolute ball watching this film. It was, when I saw the first trailer, I thought, oh yeah, that's kind of got a neat animation style. It's kind of got a cool premise. That'll probably be like a solid viewing, like or if you can catch it on stream or something. And then everyone came out and just like, oh, it's really fucking good, meme, you got to see it. It's just like, wait, it's really that good. And then more and more praise started piling in. It was just like, oh Jesus, I guess I do have to watch this. And then I did watch it, and I had just an absolutely a stupendous time. Great thematic work, great character stuff. Animation, just stupendous. Like the cinematography in this film is just very, very strong. There's a lot of influences from like westerns, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was like the stuff in there from like old like Japanese samurai films as well. Like there's quite a few different classical film influences in here that I really appreciate, and they really make it their own. There's actually a point of praise that it's probably going to be something that only weirdos like me notice, because I have 3 cats myself, and that is they got the cat body language in this film down. Like obviously cats don't sing, dance, and fight with swords, but when they're doing the realistic. Well, yeah, maybe that's true. Actually, that reminds me of the meme where there was that standing cat, and then someone edited it to have Puss in Boots regalia on. That was really funny. But like they got like the ear, the expressions with the ears right. They got the tail stuff right. There's stuff with the fur. So when they're in realistic cat mode, they get that really, really spot on. There's a lot of I'm not joking when I say I think about 60% of my notes are me going like, "You did the cat thing well. I'm gonna write it down." There was a lot of that like in the first act, especially, and stuff in there you wouldn't even expect. Like there are certain things that might be them getting it accurate by accident, but I'll still point it out because maybe it was on purpose. I don't know, but. Yeah, it's that's going to be my unique point of praise, I think, when discussing this. Is going to be the animators did their homework, and I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I don't think it's a perfect film either. But a lot of the stuff that I wrote down were like I would say I'm more in the nitpick range, but I think there's probably some more noteworthy stuff that might be worth discussing that I didn't pick up on, because by the end I was just so invested that I think there were probably things going over my head. So I'm going to be interested to see how the discussion goes. But yeah, this was a good time, a very good time.
Indeed. Well, let me get some moving pictures going.
So how do we want to? What kind of format do you want to do? Like a chronological, or do you want to go like section by section?
I mean, we could just go. I think it's gonna be sections anyway, because there's a lot of like action scenes in between where just funny stuff happens. I think we're just gonna start from the top, and then we just ease our way in, I guess. And we see what happens. Just doing all the crazy stuff we do. Cause yeah, basically the movie starts with a big old star, like a legit. It's a big star, star-shaped crystal wishing star. Yeah, this is called the wishing star, and yeah, that crashed into I want to say Earth, but this planet, and created the dark woods. But then it gave it new life, and it's like all nice visuals. And I wish I could just show them all if copyright wouldn't be a thing. Of course I can't, so it's going to be an overlay over it. But yeah, apparently that falling star is hidden in the center of those dark woods, and people want to look for it because you can make a wish, and it's really cool to have a wish. And that's basically the setup for what we're looking for during the movie or in the movie. And yeah, already animation just absolutely fantastic.
Well, because then it leads into the extended like musical sequence where it's basically like the film's already starting to flex, and it's only just begun. Like a lot of the coolest visuals are still coming later on in the film.
Yeah, it's just really looks fantastic. It's like a music scene. He's just giving people gold, and everyone is having a good time. It's like, hey, just do one song. It's like, nah, I shouldn't. And it's like, okay, I'll do it. Like kind of pretending. It's like, I'm humble. And then it's like that guitar comes or lute or whatever it is, just comes flying into his paw. And just basically sings a song. It's like, who's your favorite hero? It's like, it's me.
The blade has never touched me.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot
Well,
of
yeah,
visual things happening. I didn't actually write anything specific down. It's just a lot of fun stuff happening. Like,
well, I think there's a broader statement that can be made about this opening sequence, including like the action sequence.
oh yeah, everyone is seems to love Puss in Boots, and he's like tries to be. I shouldn't say tries to be humble because he isn't. Puss in Boots is not humble. He very much enjoys the spotlight.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Being adored by people, and yeah, go
what
ahead.
we're being presented here in this sequence, including like the action sequence and everything going through, is like this is it's one of those. It's something that we don't need to talk about Glass Onion, but like you know, it's worthwhile in the story to establish like a state of being for a character, and then to contrast that against their state of being like in a different scenario. The different scenario in this case being once he's on his last life. What we see here is like, yeah, this is like the almost like what you could say is like the hollow facade of like what
Right.
Puss in Boots is supposed to be. Because you know it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm like, you know, I'm your favorite fearless hero, and I'm like launching into battle. I'm really like confident, bordering on like incredibly arrogant.
Yeah.
And like sort of seemingly pretty carefree. But the second like he gets onto his last life, like this sort of attitude is gone. Like it doesn't exist anymore. The way that he's acting here, it ends here when he loses that life. I think that this is like it's almost something that I didn't quite fully appreciate until just now thinking about this scene again. Like that the purpose of this scene is to sort of present the weaker attitude, like the more like vacuous hollow like mindset of what it means to be like fearless, and it's built upon basically like the fact that he can be reckless to a degree that like nobody else can really afford to be.
Yeah, because
That's something that he can be.
multiple lives. It's like,
He's got a lot of
even
lives,
if
and that informs
anything
the way
goes
they
wrong,
behave.
like I'll be fine.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I'll be fine, I'll be chill, everything's cool, so he can, and in a sense, it, like, enables him to be, like, incredibly brave, right, and lunge into battle and have all of these crazy, like, fun adventures that he's going on, but, like, that's about to be shattered very shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an immortal version of Dutch courage, where it's like you just feel like completely indestructible.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like he said,
Yeah.
right? The legend will never die, but then he gets, and I feel like that's an important. The legend will never die because it's something that gets referenced a lot in the film, right? The legend of who Puss in Boots is, and specifically
yeah.
like what one character in particular, what their perspective is on the legend of Puss in Boots, which is much more so the outward appearance of Puss in Boots and like how he feels about the situations he's in, like you know how brave he really is and where it comes from.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Some funny lines in here too, like "Papa, he stepped on my face, and we will never wash it again."
Yeah.
Well, you're up to the Spanish Splinter part, which
Oh,
the
oh
goofy
yeah.
face that he pulls when he lands. It's really funny. It's something that I noticed immediately after I watched Puss in Boots 1 is like, man, like the character art is like way stronger. Like it's just he's just way more expressive and emotive here than he's ever been before. It's like a lot of smaller touches because it feels like the same, you know, the same character, right? He feels like Puss in Boots, but he's just way more emotive in this film than he's ever been, which of course is
Yeah.
really valuable considering what they need to do with the character. But like the expression there, like look at him as he's spinning around, he's having the time of his life.
It's like saving people and just like kind of.
And I guess, you know, now might be the time to talk about that, but this is the scene where you get to really see, like, a lot of the new animation techniques that they were trying out here. They did the thing that Spider-Verse did with 3D animation, where they're animating on twos in several sequences to further accentuate the action poses and everything. Especially in this sequence, you can see it.
Yeah. Why do people want me to go back to the crowd wave? What's with that?
There's somebody there. There's somebody in the crowd.
Okay.
Oh.
There's somebody in the crowd.
Ooh, is this a cameo I didn't pick up on?
Oh, it's not a cameo. It's someone. It's no. You've gone too far. It's when he's about to fight the giant monster.
Okay, let's see. There's the monster.
Go a lot further forward.
Okay.
To get to it, it was like only 30 seconds before where we were.
That's a splinter right now.
So it's right after this, I believe. Oh well, like 10 more seconds, 10-15 seconds.
Okay. Oh, he's throwing them.
Throwing, boom.
Okay, it's crashed
boom,
into.
Boom, boom, boom. And
And we
then...
got the coffee.
Yeah.
Which I choose to believe he used one of his lives to drink that coffee, because caffeine is very bad for cats.
Is it this wave here?
It's there. Pause. Yeah, you're there.
No.
Oh,
looking
there's wolf in
for-
the background.
Yes, the
Oh.
wolf is there. The wolf is.
Oh, that's
chilling.
great, because-
Oh, that's great.
That's great because he later says, I've been there for all of them. And there he is.
Yeah, he's been paying attention. He's been watching. He was telling the truth. And
That's
checking his
awesome.
watch.
Yeah, it's these sort of little details where it's like, yeah, you put a lot of thought into what you were making here. It's this stuff that is just very indicative of a good attitude.
Yeah.
When it comes to creativity and filmmaking, storytelling. Look at him.
Absolutely.
That's great, yeah.
You're always gonna miss it when you first watch it. There's no way.
I would have missed that every time I watched it, probably, unless I randomly looked at this in the over there.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you can spot Nibbler in the first episode of Futurama. That's kind of the level of detail we're talking about.
Someone in chat has said that apparently the bell that falls on him rings 7 times before the final one when it falls.
Oh,
that's great. That's really fucking good.
God damn.
Yeah. See, there's a lot to commend about this film.
Yeah.
This whole action scene is like really entertaining as well. Obviously, like it's super fun. There's a lot of like little touches and you know like little animation techniques being employed here. Lots of smears, the animating on twos, paintings. Like there are certain shots where like it really just looks like the film does look like a painting in motion.
It really does.
Some of those backgrounds are looking real good. Wow, they're always looking good. Again, it's like the film looks.
They went
great
above
all
and
the
beyond.
time. There's no ugly shots.
No,
Everything
there
looks
really
fantastic.
isn't. I mean, the fight at the end against Wolfman is just, man, that looks so good.
Yeah, and something that's kind of interesting to note is that obviously this is a bit different than how the Shrek films were animated in the past, but at the same time, it feels like an evolution of that art style, of that animation style, rather than being something so far removed that it's hard to reconcile. So it kind of is a victory on both fronts. It's both incredible to look at on its own, and it still completely fits within this established world, which I think is really cool.
It does, because I could easily see. I think they're making a Shrek 5, or at the very least, that's something that's been discussed for a long time. I imagine they would go for it with this style, and it would work because the style that's been chosen here feels. Yeah, it's this shot. It was that shot that you were paused on. It's like you can see like all of the brush strokes and like especially from the distance, a lot of these touches to just make it look more like a painting. Like I'm pretty sure that that's one of the things that they did is when they had all the animations, they would often go into it and then add like painting, like painterly touches to the 3D animation, just to create that look. It's a real
they I know in Spider-Verse they used Photoshop a lot after they'd done the initial pass in 3D.
Yeah, quite good. I'm still kind of gushing over that detail. It's just a nice little cool thing. It's great.
Yeah,
what, the wolf hanging out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that kind of stuff. It reminds me of Hill House, where they're all in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other lines in here like dog piles don't work on cats. There was what was the other? My notes are right in front of me and I'm having trouble reading them. It's that time of the morning. Oh yeah, there's something interesting. This is kind of just something, kind of a funny running gag in my notes, is that I kept noticing that the writers in this film really love to almost get the characters to say very bad words.
Yeah.
So he almost goes, "Oh fuck," when the giant.
They use the bleeping very effectively. It's like the funny kind of bleeping.
Well, I
Yeah.
wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Way later when the dog is just going beep beep beep, I was fucking losing it. I love it. It's so good.
Well, I mean, if you wanna tie a bow basically on this scene,
Yeah.
he defeats the giant monster, lands, he even carves his own initial out on the dirt because he's real cool, and the crowd goes wild, and then the bell that he used to kill that thing will knock him out, falls on him, he's dead.
Yep.
That's it. The legend will never die. Bang, dead straight away.
The legend will never die.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in a certain sense, one of them does, in order for another one to emerge.
Yeah.
But that's when we have the doctor scene, which had some funny gags.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is fine more for me.
So before we get into the doctor scene properly, I want to just say something very funny. Not about it itself, but like my perception of it versus the reality, which is, he obviously dies, gets crushed, and then he wakes up and is told that he died. And I think until he exits the doctor's office, all I could think was, wow, he went to heaven, and this is what heaven looks like.
Yeah.
And this doctor must be God.
Yeah, something like this. But then obviously he starts. We hear that he's on his last life. Then I was like, oh no, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
It's like actually the doctor of the town, and whatever else he is, he's like all the things.
He fills many roles in
Yeah.
the town.
Oh yeah.
He's a very multi-skilled person. And then that's when they're talking about the nature of Puss's lives, which I'm pretty sure is not an element that's ever existed in any of the stories before. Seems to be a newly acknowledged thing here. I don't remember it being mentioned in other Shrek films, but I could be wrong.
That the
It
9
certainly
lives
wasn't
are like a canon thing.
An actual thing.
Oh, okay.
As a mechanic, because I certainly don't. It was not in the first movie, so I'm wondering if that's new. And I guess it's an interesting thing to think about in terms of how it recontextualizes a lot of prior stories, right? Like, but then again, this story's set so long, seemingly after the last Shrek movie. It's hard to know what he's been up to, right, in all that time.
Yeah, exactly. And one of those things where it's like, I can definitely believe that it wasn't planned, but at the same time, my question would then be like, what is it? Does it contradict anything, or does it just recontextualize other things back there yonder?
Yeah, well, there seems to be like those fairy tale cats like Puss in Boots and Kitty Softpaws, but then when we go in a little bit to the
regular cat.
Yeah, when we go to Mama Luna, there's just normal cats there who can't talk even.
Oh, yeah.
They're just
I don't have a problem with like Puss actually having like some special attribute or something.
Oh no, I just wanted to make the distinction that that's a thing that exists.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
But yes, we basically Puss is he's expended 8 of his lives in very humorously foolish ways.
Yeah.
One of them was getting bowled down by a bunch of bulls. I think the second one was that he won a game of poker against a bunch of dogs and then they killed him. And
which I think was a reference to that famous
painting,
picture, right?
The
Yeah.
dogs playing cards. And then number 3 was him drunk off of milk. I'm telling you. The cat always lands on his feet.
Just jumps off a high tower.
Falls off to the tower.
Yeah.
And then number 4 was Puss in Boots doesn't need a spotter, which doesn't end very well with him. I think number 5... oh yeah, you've got him up there. Number 5, I think, was... number 6 was the shellfish one. Number 5 was...
the
he
cannon.
was going to shoot himself out of a cannon.
This is going to be the new way of transportation.
Watch. Yeah.
Just watch.
I think number 6 was the funniest one. Oh, excuse me. Does this have any shellfish in it with a puppy face? Pink. Yes,
just
it
look at
does.
his face. Just look.
Yeah.
Look at his face.
It's a reveal.
It's already
Yeah.
swollen, and he's like,
Oh,
nah,
God.
whatever.
Just have shellfish in it. Yeah. That one's great. And then number 7 was he was baking with the gingerbread man and got himself burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
I'm
That's
the
our first
master
Shrek
of
cameo.
baking. It just goes
I'm the
flames.
master of the baking, which I know. The thing is, because I'm probably going to say this several times throughout the recording or throughout the stream, but I suppose this will be the first time to comment on it. Antonio Banderas was absolutely phenomenal in this
Amazing.
film.
Oh, fuck yes.
Like, the voice acting was like absolutely fantastic. This scene is exemplary of a lot of the comedic timing and delivery. But then we got several parts later in the film as well that are showcasing his dramatic range as well.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
He was really, really good
Absolutely.
in this movie.
Yeah, like there's nothing like this film would not have worked nearly as well if he wasn't as fucking amazingly, disgustingly talented as he is.
I can't imagine anybody else playing the character. I can't picture it. I can't envision it. I don't know what it looks like.
It's just perfect combination of the accent, the deliveries, the acting chops in general. It's just chef's kiss.
Yeah, like he was
Fantastic.
Zorro before this, right?
Yeah, which is
Yes.
just perfect,
I'm
isn't
pretty
it?
I'm pretty sure that Zorro, his portrayal of Zorro, heavily inspired the direction they went in with Puss in Boots as a character.
And bless them for that.
Yeah.
I got a few.
I also right after he goes through all of them. It's like, what is that, like 4?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh
some
yeah.
There's some nifty little details in here as well. This is going to be the beginning of this is going to be pretty common during like the first parts of the film where they go pretty heavy with the body language stuff and like the cat stuff. So this is kind of where it begins in this doctor's office. So to start, this is kind of just a funny thing. This isn't necessarily like an accuracy thing. This is more just it's funny how these things work. Where even though like Puss in Boots is pretty naked normally, like because he only wears boots, a cape, and like the little and the big old hat on his head. But it's funny how you strip all of that away, and somehow he ends up looking naked, despite the fact that he's technically already been. It's funny how that happens with animal characters.
Just him putting on a belt and some boots makes him look like he's clothed when he's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's the same. This reminds me of like, I don't know, Donald Duck when he just doesn't have his shirt on. He goes like, "Oh no, I'm naked!" Even though he's like not wearing pants or anything.
Yeah, no, it's all chill. It's all good.
Yeah, like Yogi Bear in his collar, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. It's something that animation in particular, man, like like you can do that, and it's going to be seamless in a medium like this.
Yeah,
I am sure that there will be plenty of stuff in this stream that is along the lines of what everybody's been saying, which is like, can we please just like, can people show more respect to the medium of animation?
Please,
come on, can we please just give it a little bit more credit?
Just like we had Arcane, now we have this. I haven't seen the Pinocchio yet, but this is gonna be for next week. There's your teaser. What's happening next week?
On the list. Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching that.
But I guess in terms of the observation we made about this scene is that Puss in Boots is like, nah, it's all good, it's all chill. Like I'm cool, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm all right. Even though 8 lives, like everything's chill and everything's okay. He is in denial.
Yeah, absolutely. Something. So I'll just run down a few little details before we move on. So when he says that he's the witch. So when the guy says he's the witch finder, which is a funny gag in of itself, he sprays Puss in Boot with that witch doctory staff thingy, and his ears flatten in response to that. That is like that's a really good. That was the first time I noticed that they were really paying attention to not only human body language but also applying a certain level of cat body language, because that's how a cat's going to react. They're gonna flatten their ears because it's like, oh, that's irritating. Because like the flatter the ears, the more threatened they feel, because they'll pin their ears down to the side of their head during a fight so that they don't get them torn. So that's a good way to kind of indicate how a cat is feeling. Also, he picks Puss up by the scruff of the neck at one point, which is, again, that's a way you would hold a cat in order to make sure they're immobilized. So one of them, in his deaths, there's a few funny things here. So I like that. I like that the Puss, his very first. One could make the argument that his very first death was a Puss dying because he was distracted by Pussy. Because his first his death was because he was distracted flirting with a woman, and I was just like, "Oh, I see you, Ryder. I see you." The third, so the death where he falls off the building, that's actually a pretty common way for cats to die, because they'll go up on the balcony and they won't think about the fall down, because they're thinking like, oh, I'm going to chase a bird, or I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, and they're just going to run off and leap off the balcony because their owner has decided that, this animal that can reach the ceiling, sure, I'll let him up here where he could fucking fall to his death. Sure, he's responsible. He's a big boy. So that's why I have like netting around my balcony to stop them from.
Yeah.
It's actually it's a growing industry here where I live, because they just banned outdoor cats here, so it's all containment now. So that is a growing industry. That's more of just due to the fact that they're a bit of an ecological menace. The shellfish thing is also really smart, because most cats are allergic to fish.
Really?
Because like the biggest lie of the pet food industry is that cats should be eating fish. No, they evolved from desert-dwelling animals, and there are no fucking fish in the desert, so a lot of them are going to have that sensitivity to seafood, because that's just not something they would have been eating in the thing. And also, so this is just the final thing. This isn't like a cat thing. This is just, well, it is a cat thing, but it's not a detail thing. This is just something that made me giggle, which is he says. Puss needs to go to a cat fancier, which with my distorted brain, that sounded a lot worse than it was probably intended. Oh, what, you fancy cats? Oh, stay away from them, please. But yeah, wonderful scene.
Someone said to check the corners of the death scenes.
Ooh, the corners of the death scenes. Okay.
I mean, is there like wolf boy hanging out somewhere? I don't know.
I presume so. Maybe he's like hidden in the shadows.
I don't know, can't really
he
see
might.
it. Can't really see
Yeah, it
him
might
anywhere.
be hidden in places. The border of the death counter. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So
the actual counter. Oh, the counters look like the wolves. Look like the wolves.
Oh.
Here, look, see, yeah. It's like the corners are the hood, and then the sickles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's cool.
I see.
Oh my god.
He did cheat in a card game with the dogs. Yeah, that's what he did. That's neat. That's some good choices for art. I love it. Love it. They know what they were doing.
Woo, woo, woo.
But yeah, as Fringy already said, Puss is like, I'm fine. I'm the Puss in Boots. I'm legendary. Everybody loves me. There's also something going on there. The doctor asks him, like, hey, is there anywhere safe you can go? Anyone in particular he could go to in this time of need? And Puss in Boots just says, hey, everybody loves me. How can I possibly choose? Basically, he doesn't really have anyone special to go to, like a close friend or something. There might be a lot of people who like him, but there's no one he likes, or he's around with or hangs out with for any particular time. Because he's the hero loved, but not like loved by someone specific. The facade, as we already put it, it's like the facade, but it's actually a bit lonely to be the big old hero man all the time.
Yeah, come from adventure to adventure, not been tied down to any one place.
Yeah, and this is like one of the themes throughout the movie as well. It was like, I'm a solo act. I'm working alone, which goes with him and Kitty Softpaws as well. They both are like, we work alone. Relying on anyone else is the bad, basically, because you're always just gonna get screwed by them. and that's obviously that's gonna change throughout the movie or towards the end of the movie. And as we soon learn, there's the thing with dealing with mortality, but that's we're gonna
Well, yeah, because
we're gonna
the next scene
exactly.
is the introduction of seemingly everybody's favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, someone just sent me a message saying that Shrek 2 mentioned the 9 lives thing as a throwaway line. So apparently
Okay,
that
right, and they
was there
decided to run with
extent.
it, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, fair enough in that case.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get that
What
stuff here,
is
the little
loneliest?
loop-de-loop on the thingy, and boom. So yeah, Puss goes to the bar and has some
He
cream,
has
some
milk,
milky cream.
and then obviously laps it up like a cat.
Yeah.
Which is-
Oh,
that's
that's
how I
right.
got a chuckle out of me.
Great animation. Yeah, but then he's like getting attacked by someone. It's like, hey, I heard about you.
Yeah,
You-
no,
Oh.
he's not attacking him yet, right? He's just
Oh, yeah,
there chilling out in the bar, having a little conversation in his very
Right.
cool voice. Like, hey, buddy,
Oh.
how you doing?
Yeah, it's like,
I
hey,
know
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You're Puss in Boots.
let's have a
Perfect
little-
voice for death. Holy shit. Like just mwah.
Yeah, it's good. Character is great. Voice acting is fantastic. I love the design. It's really cool.
The eyes make it. 'cause
Yeah.
the design is cool, but it's the eyes. They're very intense in every frame, basically.
Oh yeah. Like the eyes are a very underrated piece
Mm.
of the character design in any piece of animation. Like the eyes can often make or break a design, I think.
For sure. But yeah, they just have a little convo, and then Wolf just gets out the little wanted poster. It's like, oh, great, you're a bounty hunter. All right, come on, let's get this over with. We're just gonna do the thing.
Well,
And-
yeah, because the way that he presents it is like, oh, can I have your autograph? And then slides
Right.
over. Yeah, one poster was like, can you sign here while he's tapping dead on the dead or alive
Exactly,
part
yeah.
of the poster. And of course, yeah, it's right. It's like, you're a bounty hunter. Okay, yeah, all right, let's fight. Fear me if you. And then he just immediately gets rid of his sword, knocks
Yeah.
it away.
You don't even
And
see
then
him
it's kind of
move,
awkward
really.
because- No, he doesn't. But then Puss has to kind of like awkwardly just like get down, walk over, and go grab it, right? When he's trying to do his standard, like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm Puss in Boots, fear me if you dare. And it's like, nah, no, it's not.
No.
It's not going like that this time around. There's a certain tone that we're going for here.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Trying to get that one frame that's just like,
Oh yeah. I think I know what one you're going for.
just look at him. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go pee myself.
Oh my good god.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's one of them. There's
Yeah.
another one.
Oh, there's a bunch.
that I
Like
really like.
him sliding Puss over
Yeah.
the
Over the counter. Yeah,
counter.
they do like the sort of zoom, the fisheye sort of like lens effect. But then there's specifically the strike that lands. That's the one. That's the one you gotta get it. You gotta get it. It's really there.
You know,
Because
they make a big deal out of
yeah.
out of
Go
how
ahead.
a blade's never. They make a big deal out of how a blade had never touched him. Something. Yeah.
You mean
happens.
this one?
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But come on, look
It's
at
like,
that.
geez.
Because
Yeah,
I
that
think
is
it was
so good.
It's this part. This was the part when I was like, oh, like okay, like this movie's probably going to be really good. this was the moment when I realized what I was kind of in for. He lands.
They were not
the
holding
strike,
back.
and it's this like terrifying
Yeah.
wolf like
There's
attacking
even
him, and then yeah.
There's even a drop of blood. And I was like, what?
Well, so that was the part when I sort of it was at that point that I think I realized it's like, oh, we're gonna do something really interesting here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like this is gonna be like a really interesting movie. Because yes, that is the consequence of this strike. He actually managed to land a blow on Puss, and he's bleeding. He's cut. He got him.
Look at this.
And
You
then
can
it cuts
see
to-
him in the eyes as well, and you have like this one
Yes.
drop of blood.
Which
It's like,
this feels
Oh,
like a bit
yeah.
of parallel because we see something similar later in the film, but in a different context. It's and then he like wipes the blood off of his forehead, and then Wolf is like, "Oh, I love the smell of fear."
Yep.
As he drags his blades across the ground as he's walking towards him, and then we get one of the actual best like light flashing before your eyes like moments in film, at least that I can think of just like
Yeah, little Shrek cameo in there as well.
Well, yeah, because it's recounting a bunch of stuff, right? Because he says lives flashing before your eyes, a whole bunch of
Exactly.
them. And
Oh,
it's the
yes.
heart rate. You can hear the thudding. It's growing louder and louder, like sort of a high pitch, like just sort of whirring, coming into focus. It's like right here's
the hair
out, like,
standing up on Puss as well, like going over the body. Is like, oh,
he's scared. He's quite scared. Which obviously when it's your favorite fearless hero, right? He's terrified.
Yep.
Yeah, the puffing up of the fur was a really great detail. A lot of the time, the puffing up is seen as an aggressive or angry gesture, while this is they recognize that no, that cats do that when they're scared, when they are absolutely mortified,
terrified. Yeah, and it feels pretty appropriate given what happens at the end of the film. That it's like, what does Wolf love? He loves the fear. He loves that he's terrified. He loves it because he shattered the facade, the thing that he believes to be a farce, basically, of him being fearless, laughing in the face of death, right? It's he's not laughing now. He's absolutely terrified, and it's like it really sells it. All of the details in the animation, sound design, like really sells that this is quite a dire situation. But he wants him to fight. He wants him to pick it up, pick up the sword and keep fighting. But that's not what's happening this time.
Up. It's like, oh shit.
But he's not going to do that. He's running away. He's running away from this guy who appears to be sort of embodying his impending death.
Oh yeah.
I wonder why I wonder.
Yeah, they have the
I would say
flashing
like
as
it didn't take me long to figure it out. Like the hood. Specifically, they're not quite sides, but it's like, I got it. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, well, the very first time I saw him, I thought he was literally death, and then he said it was a bounty hunter. I was like, oh, he's a bounty hunter. That kind of just is a metaphor. And then later, it's just like, no, I actually am death. And I was like, oh, okay, so I got it right the first time. Okay, that's pretty neat. And talk about. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, finish.
Let's just talk about taking advantage of like your established world, like because Shrek is obviously fantasy fairy tale world. So this is a world where you could totally have like a guy who is literally death running around, and you can make him really cool and creative within the context of this world. That's just awesome to me.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I'm a big old fan of this character, and I mean we've only just gotten a glimpse of him. There'll be more to come.
Oh
He runs away. He's not going to confront this guy. He can't do it. And the reality is he'd probably lose if he did anyway, but he can't do it. But he leaves his sword behind. Which he doesn't have for a large amount of the film. He left it behind. Which feels almost like symbolically appropriate that whatever that piece of him is, it's gone right now. He's left it behind. He's lost something here.
And I think this is a good time to talk about how this film really benefits from the fact that we've had I think 4 films with Puss in Boots up Puss in Boots up until this point, plus a bunch of spin-off media. Like there was like 6 seasons of a television show with the same version of the character, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not in the same continuity, but like still like this, we've had a saturation of Puss in Boots material. So this is like the perfect time to strip him of the things we identify Puss in Boots with, to strip him of the sword, to strip him of his facade, because we have gotten our fill of like of his baseline over the course of quite a few films at this point. So this is a great time to just reduce him down to see how he reacts when put into this kind of situation.
Well, yeah, it's time to really explore this character, because, like I said, the first film I don't think really explores him much at all, whereas this one is tearing him down and building him back up again.
Yeah,
that'd probably be the way to describe it. And yeah, he's been torn down. And I mean, we see what the consequences of that, because he runs off and then basically like goes into hiding. He decides to like renounce or essentially say goodbye to like Puss in Boots, buries his boots, buries his hat and his belt. He even gives like kind of a funeral speech for himself, even though nobody's around. Um, and then he goes into, basically it was this this cat lady's house filled with a bunch of cats, and he's just doing the cat thing basically, except he doesn't fit in because he's like a talking he's a talking cat in a house that's got a bunch of just like regular cats.
Yeah, it's yeah, the contrast is really how do I describe it? Like he pisses in the human toilet. He's trying to cook food like a human, and then the cat lady's like, "No, you will act like a normal cat." And it's like it's so the contrast between him, the other cats, and how it's like this cat retirement home. It's great.
Yeah, no, it is good. It is a good contrast, right, from how high up he was before to just here, like completely devoid of his identity.
Yeah, exactly. There's a few, and the cat home is kind of where we start to get like the maximum, like, it's very clear they did their research with this sort of thing. So when he's going out into the rain, all sad, his ears flatten out in a kind of an irritated way. So, which that's great. Him getting irritated by being bathed was funny. A little word of advice for people at home: don't bathe your cat unless you want to traumatize them. Cats are really good at if cats are really good at one thing, it's cleaning themselves. They did their fucking masters, their PhD. They got honors in bathing themselves. So you don't need to do that. Even how the cats react to a new cat in the home is pretty realistic, because cats are really intensely territorial. So if there's a new cat in the house and they're not like given a gradual introduction, they're going to be like, "What the hell? There's a stranger in the house. What the fuck?" So that was great. You would think Puss pissing in the human toilet would be an inaccuracy. It was not. There are some cats who have actually been trained to use the human toilet, and I don't recommend that, because you need to actually be able to check if their waste is fine, because that's like a lifeline to their health, if you will. But you can technically train them to do that, and I think they will flush as well. And she also uses the spray bottle, which don't do that. What will happen if you use the spray bottle is you will sure, they'll not do it when you're around, but that's because they're scared of you, not because they're scared of doing the action.
Yeah.
So you're just damaging that bond, and they'll just do it while you're out of the room. So don't do that. Don't do that. I think I used to have a client, because
It's a part where that one was probably one of my favorite jokes, and I was disappointed that nobody laughed at it, when he buries his boots by like turning around and then burying it like a cat does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Turn
something
around
I
and
wrote
just
down
front forwards
too.
to bury it. I love that,
Oh
because
yeah,
he's there crying, and then he just turns around and buries it like a cat.
yeah.
It's a good- it's a
I
good
have it in my
meme.
notes as even the digging is spot on. It's great.
Yeah. It's that's just like a good example of injecting a joke into what is kind of a serious moment, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there crying, and he's got eyeliner, I think, which I guess that's canonical. Puss in Boots has eyeliner, because when he's crying, it's all like washed off.
I just actually
running
like
down
the
his
whole
face.
thing that we went from because normally you do like the whole thing, oh, we go from serious to funny joke. But here we kind of do a bit of the reverse, because we start kind of lighthearted. It's like, we gotta do this funeral for Puss in Boots, but of course it's only him there, no one else, because no one knows what's been going on with him. And
Yeah.
just walks off like I think 3 times. It's always just like, okay, I can do one song. Just starts crying. It's like, oh man, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, and I think what really works is that they have the jokes, but the jokes almost serve to accentuate the darker undercurrent of the scene, rather than because a lot of the time when jokes are injected into serious moments, they're a complete disruption of tone. While with this, the jokes actually kind of help the tone, because they're still completely in character, and you can see that it's still in service when he's even though it's funny when he's digging, he's still or when he's digging and when he's burying, he's still like doing it to his own grave. Like they don't undercut the significance of that. And even when he's trying to give words to himself, that's still in service of what he's going through as a character, right? So that I think that's why it doesn't sabotage it in the same way that say like
the joke that he's making in that situation, right? Rather than kind of like him looking at the camera like, yes, there is an audience here that needs some entertainment.
Exactly. Yeah, it's organic to the situation, which is which stops it from breaking the situation, which I think is very praiseworthy. I've known people like Mama Luna who just like have too many animals and not like enough of a capacity to take care of them. And like I think when I saw the 1 litter tray, I was like, oh my God. Oh, I was in dire straits when I saw that, and they were all wearing mittens. It's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
And then they all gather around the dry food pit. It's like, oh God, no. Oh no. And I did love Puss being like really fussy about his food. That's another classic catism where it's like they will either eat anything or they'll only eat like one thing. It's like there's no middle ground. But then as he goes on, he starts to just eat the dry food out of habit. And the way he chews, that's a very classic reluctant chewing motion.
Well, the thing is that we see over the course of that like montage that essentially he's being worn down, that he's actually sort of kind of losing like a lot of his sense of self and identity. And I mean, it's pretty clear what the scene is about, right? He was confronted by death, by the knowledge or the notion of death and like the inherent danger of life, and his choice was to run away from it to the point that he's not really living at all anymore. He's just kind of just existing, going through the motions. It's kind of like he's taken like the wrong approach that he needs to take here, which is not running away from life, but to essentially confront like death in order to live fully and properly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it achieves all this while being a funny scene, like a funny sort of montage of all of this stuff being worn down. It's a delicate balance, but I think that they've struck it well here, and they tend to strike it well throughout the story.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, you can feel the redrafting, if this wasn't iterated on multiple times to get it just right, I would be extremely impressed.
It's too deliberate.
It really
is.
Yeah.
And properly. Because when we talk about expeditious storytelling, this is incredibly expeditious.
Exactly. No Snyder cut bloat here. Even stuff like he falls on his back, showing his belly, which is like the cat sign of trust. So that's when the other cats start pillowing on him. Like that was a really good little detail.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good, so good. I love it so much. Let's see. Oh no, I marked this wrong because I've been going through trying to just split up these scenes, and then I realized no, there we go. Because next thing is the Goldilocks part, right?
Yeah.
Our introduction to one of our antagonistic elements.
Yeah. I also like when Puss first goes like meow, and all the cats are like, what the. It's like, what? Did I say something wrong? It's my second language. It was very funny.
He knows exactly what the cone means. Oh, that's great. No more balls for you.
Bowels. All right, let me get to the Goldilocks, which I think is a pretty short one.
No, Perito
I got like 2 notes on that one.
Scene, I believe, right?
Sorry?
I thought it was.
Do we meet Perito before or after?
Oh, it's first the short Goldilocks scene, and then right after that we see.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put those two together here. There we go.
Started using Obsidian to take notes. I'm a big fan. If anyone wants a note-taking program.
I just use Microsoft Word.
I was using it until very recently, and I'll probably still use that for scripts and stuff. But this is like just a very good, like, convenient Smart Notes app.
Yeah, you got Goldilocks and the three bears, and they're very British, and they're looking for Puss in Boots.
Yeah. Well, not yet. I don't think
coming to
they talk there yet, don't they? It's just the three bears. It's called Mama, Papa, Baby, and Goldie. Because I don't think the bears talk in this yet, don't they?
Oh no, they don't talk yet.
That's a big surprise.
That's later on. Yeah.
Surprise in a little bit later, which is actually really funny. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, that one got me. I just love the idea of Goldilocks as a bounty hunter.
Legendary Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, Goldilocks as a bounty hunter is kind of an interesting, but I mean that's kind of like the Shrek mantra, right? It's to take like fairy tale characters and then recontextualize them or put them in like new situations or have them new dynamics.
Yeah. If you look at them here, they look just really threatening. It's like, oh god, I don't want to fuck around with that kind of family. Three bears.
And yeah, Goldilocks was Florence Pugh, which I didn't know either until afterward, and all I could think is, oh wow, she's got range.
Yeah, she's actually a really good actress. What a shame about Black Widow, but
well, I mean, she was really good in Black Widow. It's just that the writing was not very good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, she's really good in the movie. It's just she wasn't given a good movie to be in. That's the way to put that. Also, like, it's good to see like that Mama Bear has gotten better from the unfortunate incident from Shrek 1 where she was turned into a bearskin rug. I'm glad that she got over that and is
yeah, there's Perito. There he is.
Yeah.
Wearing a little cat hat. See,
I think
that about Perito is that he's got it all figured out.
Yeah,
he's nailed it. He's figured it all out.
Look at this frame. That explains everything.
Yeah. Yes, that could be a way to describe their dynamic for maybe the next like 30-40 minutes.
Pretty much. I mean, I just love that Puss has just like this beard going on right now.
Yeah, the beard's really cool.
It's really funny.
Oh yes.
There's Perito, the happiest, most cheerful fellow that you're ever gonna meet, who has it all figured out and has a lot of things to teach Puss in Boots about life.
Yeah, and Kitty Softpaw in an extension as well. That's to both of them really.
Yeah, I got to tell you something about Perito that might be very funny. It's not to do with him in the context of the film. It is to do with something that happened with me while watching it, which is to say, it wasn't until after the film was over and I was talking about it on the Discord that I realized that his name was Perito, because for some reason, my brain, when the name Perito was said, I heard burrito. I did hear burrito. And I thought, oh, well, he looks like a little burrito in his little outfit. Yeah, I can see why that. So that my brain didn't question it.
In fact, he's wearing like a little cat outfit to try and fit in like the cat house.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's an optimist in a world of cynics. Well, yeah, he's just a relentlessly positive person, a relentlessly positive character.
Yeah,
and it's actually exactly what Puss in Boots needs right now.
Pretty much
exactly it. And it's such a classic cat and dog dynamic as well, where you like have the little dog who just wants to be friends with the cat, and the cat's just like, oh, you are so much, you are so much. It was so it was mwah. Like the great character dynamic and just a great like choice of like animal contrast as well. I really liked that. And the unwanted poster, my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, that hit me. Oh, just the idea of an unwanted poster, like the. Oh, unwanted.
Unwanted.
Oh.
Yeah. How could you not want Perito? I don't understand.
Exactly.
Good boy.
He's a very good boy.
Oh, my heart. My poor heart.
Yeah.
No.
Puss is obviously not interested. Just like, nah, leave me alone. I'm a solo act. Still Still trying to ride that train, basically. And
Yeah, exactly.
he's just hanging around now, and he doesn't really want him to. I just want to exist. I just want to be miserable on my own with all these cats that can't talk. Yeah, it's because he doesn't even care that he can talk as well. While Perito is like, oh, you can talk? That's amazing. I don't have anyone to talk to. And it just starts talking nonstop. While Puss is just like, oh, God, just leave me alone. I'm trying to be miserable here.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but like there might be some like clues in Puss's body language to a certain level of subconscious endearment to Perito early on, because he's acting annoyed when they're walking alongside, but if you look at his tail, it's up in that upside down question mark stance, which is like maximum happy for cats. It's not that frame, it's like when they're walking before, and his ears are not flat at all, which means he doesn't feel threatened, and so that's kind of an indication of maximum happy with cats. So that kind of indicates that might be a clue that he's going to either endear to him early on, or that there's a part of him under that cynical facade that is endearing to him. And I just thought that was a good little touch. I liked that. I liked that a lot. I like a lot of the little touches in here, and the idea of him being like so perplexed by the idea of a belly rub. Again, classic cat thing, because a cat will show you its belly, but that's a sign of trust. That's when a dog shows you its belly, it's like, yeah, I want a belly rub. When a cat shows you its belly, it's like, I trust you to not rub my belly. And then when you rub its belly, it will bite the shit out of you, because it's like, you have violated this sacred trust. There's like 10% of cats who actually like belly rubs. The rest of them will try to murder you if you rub their belly. There's a little OH&S tip there. Don't rub the cat's belly. Just don't, not even once. And also that there's a little scar on his belly as well, which I actually thought that was going to pop at some point when they mentioned the hernia later, but no, that would probably been a bit of a dark one. Not a bit too dark with this one. Yeah, and there was also like a really good makeshift cat tree, which was like, maybe there is hope for this woman. Maybe, she's got some things going on. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of nice. Looks all right.
Yeah. Also, I love the idea of an impoverished dog who wants to be a therapy dog. That's very endearing.
Yeah, I want to be a therapy dog.
Yeah, you guys think, Fringy?
Oh, well, it's just, this is when Goldilocks and the Three Bears show up, and then we do get our, our introduction to the bears, and their, interesting,
it's another great frame that summarizes their relationship.
Yeah. Him just totally smiling.
It's great.
Like, you are so much, so often, so what?
Please have
I was
mercy.
done like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Also, shortly before this scene, because Perito asks him, like, what is your story? And then he kind of flares up a little bit. Oh, my story. And then just stops, like, it's over. It's like, oh. He basically has given up at this point. Just, I'm just going to exist here until my eventual end.
This is life now until death.
Yeah. Right, let me just get to the correct visuals. Can't be too far away. There we go. I'm trying to find these. I remember those scenes are much shorter than I remember. It's probably because I paused in between and paused. See what I did there? Paused.
I get you. I get what you're putting down.
Yeah. Anyway. Right. The Goldilocks and the Three Bears arrive, and actually, the Puss first sees like a silhouette that kind of looks like the wolf, and he's immediately like, "Uh-oh, I'm donezo." He's like immediately afraid, and then lucky for him, it's only 3 bears that instead of death, so that's good.
Yeah. Actually, this is like a good example of a film that because obviously, you know, Spider-Man 3 kind of put that idea in a lot of people's heads that you can't have multiple villains in one film, but this film is very much an argument for the opposite, that you can balance multiple antagonistic forces and do it extremely well, especially in a shorter runtime as well.
Well, then they say, it's like, we're looking for the legendary Puss in Boots. And it's like, they're looking for Puss in Boots? And then Perito's like, who's Puss in Boots? And Puss goes like, seriously? He's like offended that he doesn't know who he is. And yeah, there's kind of wreck the place.
Coleman as the Papa and Mama Bear.
Sorry?
It's Ray Winston and Olivia Colman as Papa and Mama Bear. Yeah. Great choices.
Yes.
Hey, make him talk, and then Papa Bear just starts talking really friendly. It's like, oh, can you tell us where he is? We're really looking for him.
Excuse me, my lovely. Have you seen?
Yeah, because they're actually like kind of chill, just like talking. It's just really funny. I didn't expect that at all. I thought like Puss would just like kind of help out or something, but no, they're just kind of asking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we also learned that Baby, who's like the child of the 2 bears, is the one who tracks the scent of Puss in Boots, or it's like their tracker in general, and yeah, and then they like can't find him, just looking around, and they even pick up Puss at some point. It's like, oh no, look at him, he looks so miserable. That's not Puss in Boots at all. While they're looking straight at him, and it's like, oh
yeah. Something I love is that the bears are actually better with the cats than Goldilocks is. Like Goldilocks is just picking one up by the leg, while the bears are like cradling them properly and giving them scritches. It's great. And and he picks up both Puss and Perito at the same time, and or he picks them up like one after the other, and he drops Perito from like the height you would drop a cat, and it's like, oh my god, that dog is not surviving that fall. Oh my god.
He even realizes that it's not a dog. It's like, look, this one is not even a dog at all. Just drops him.
Yep. It's just like, oh no, oh, it's poor legs. Oh, I guess he's already been thrown to the river. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I would have written down what exactly he says about Puss, but it's not friendly. He's like, look, this is not Puss Boots at all. And then they find Puss's grave outside. It's like, Dad, oh, that can't be. We went here all the way. And Puss is kind of spying on them behind a tree, and they talk about, it's like, oh man, we were meant to hire him because we need to find that map to the wishing star. And then they have like this whole thing. It's like, oh, see, this is what the wishing star does. You can wish everything. Which is like, not the biggest fan of that kind of exposition, right?
Yes, especially because he's like peeking around the corner just as they're describing the very thing that he needs.
Yeah.
That was like probably could have been stronger there. That's one of my few criticisms of the film. Just certain conveniences like this.
Yeah, because they should know this anyway, because that's what they're here for. So it's not really a point for her to pointing that out again to them.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, we can't think of a better way to get this information into Puss's hands. So, something that's kind of a fridge logic.
Apparently, she calls Puss a scruffy geriatric bag of bones. God damn.
Oh my goodness. I think it was kind of a fridge logic moment for me with this scene. That initially, my critic brain went to like, oh, well, couldn't they, if they can smell the grave, shouldn't they be able to smell that Puss is the same cat as but then I realized, no, that wouldn't be the case, because Puss has spent like a great amount of time in the home, which means that he would have been rubbing up against other cats.
Yeah.
He would have been absorbing the natural sense of that place. So all the unique sense to him that would have come from his rugged lifestyle would have slowly faded away and changed his scent profile. So no, he wouldn't have come up smell wise as Puss in Boots. Like all you got to do, or the only thing I got to say about that is that if you take a cat and you if they stay overnight at the vet, they'll come back smelling weird to the other cats, and the cats will have what's called non-recognition aggression, where they can't actually recognize the other cat because they smell different. So you got to imagine that would apply the same with Puss in Boots living in that house for quite an extended period of time.
Yeah, I see. That makes sense. I think that's a fair point.
Yeah. Also, I got a question about the wishing star. Well, not the wishing star itself, but because Puss is like really insistent that he's going to wish for 9 lives back, and all I can think was, why not wish for infinite lives? Why not wish for infinite wishes?
Why won't you just do infinite ones? Yeah, it's like this whole thing. It's like, oh, you have a wish. Can we just do like more wishes and then just do infinite lives and just have that thing in my back pocket or something?
Yeah, just give me the give me the console for life, with the infinite wishes. Like that's why you gotta have the no wishing for more wishes clause in your wish system, because otherwise, because if you want a wish limit, you have to make sure that they can't just wish away the wish limit. Also, the Jack Horner is the little Jack Horner now Big Jack Horner is the person who has the map.
Yeah, he has the map, and they meant to hire Puss in Boots to steal the map from him, because Puss in Boots is really good in stealing stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and I have in my notes, after the Star Trek Forges, Jack Horner rings different, because I think I was the horn. What was oh yeah, and my last note I already kind of mentioned about. It's just interesting how Puss doesn't have his sword and everything, so he has a unique set of challenges. Yeah, it's a really good move on the part of this story.
Then he makes Perito dig up his costume so he can put it back up, back on, and then he leaves, and it's like, no, you're not coming with me. I'm a solo act. Blah blah blah. Of course, Perito's coming with him. And yeah, they need to steal the map from Jack Horner, and I fucking love that character.
Oh yeah,
he is hilarious, and he looks
especially juxtaposition with a certain other character.
He looks so funny. He's
very good-looking guy.
I saw him and I started laughing. It's like, you're gonna make him look like this? I love it. It's so good. Obviously Perito is following him when he wants to do, and he gives Puss in Boots a little stick. It's like, oh, you don't have a sword, but this is kind of like a sword. So yeah, this is his weapon for now. It's like all he has, because he doesn't have a weapon. And yeah, we got Jack Horner in his pie factory. And he what does he say? He's like, I deem this pie as delicious. Just, dude, fucking look at his face. Look at it. Just look at him. Oh, I love his design. It's so stupid.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, he looks like a plum, which is fitting.
He has a pretty tiny face, and the rest of his body is like huge. Like he's just huge.
Yeah, and he goes like, send it out, and all I could think was like, wait, are you gonna send out the one that has the thumb hole in it? Is that like the special pie? Is that like your equivalent of the golden ticket? It's the one with the thumb hole in it.
Yeah, that one is for your top Patreon supporters. That they get the thumb one.
That's the $1,000 tier. You get the thumb pie.
That sounds kind of naughty, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Basically invisible chin, as someone just said in chat, is it's great. It's great.
You can hear like the trombone practically every time you walk. Do 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 do.
Oh my god! I just saw his wanted poster. I didn't even notice that. It looks even crazier. Look at this face. He looks like a madman.
Oh my. I like the idea that he held that face as the person drew the Oh, and Puss almost said a bad word again at some point. I have that written down. He almost said, I forget which bad word he almost said, but it was a one that he said. And they got like Perito's like I just described like they got his dog like loyalty down so well. It's just like I'm helping, please love me, I'm helping.
Yeah, I got you a stick.
So great.
So yeah, he checks his pies. It's all good. And then the Serpent Sisters arrive, and because they stole that map for him, and they tried to tell us like, oh, we did so much killing for that map. Oh, you can't believe it, like this. Oh, so much killing. Like we did this thing, and he's like, yeah, whatever, just get me the map into my room. He's like, he doesn't want to hear any of it. He was like really annoyed by this.
Yeah.
And yeah, his wish. We learned that his wish is going to be that he wants to become the magical master, or the master of magic. Because when he was little, he had nothing magical at all. So now he wants to be the master of it. And then we see his room, which is like all kinds of magical trinkets and doodads and whatnot. Like we get like the flying carpet, which I think is supposed to be the same then from Aladdin, I would assume.
Yeah, I think it's Aladdin.
Pretty similar. We got the ship with the tiny people on it, just hanging out there. I actually don't know what that is referencing. I have no clue. Maybe
it's it might be. I wonder if it's like either an obscure fairy tale or just one that because I haven't heard of it. If it is well known, it might be just one I missed. The baby unicorn horns, like just that idea.
Lilliputians? I actually don't know how to say that.
I don't know them. Then
Gulliver's Adventures is that?
Gulliver's Travels. I see. Yeah.
That rings a bell. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think I only know Gulliver's Travels by the title alone, so that's probably why it didn't ring for me. The baby unicorn horns, though, it's just like it's bad enough that he's like, oh yeah, I extracted these unicorns. It's like, no, these were from baby unicorns. Like, oh
damn.
Like, my god,
are those unicorn horns? It's just like baby unicorn horns, actually.
They're sharper. It's like, oh, you're fucking pure evil. Okay.
I just like that his idea with this is also, I'm gonna make a crossbow so I can shoot it at people. I'm gonna kill people with baby unicorn horns because I'm so evil.
Have you heard of the humble arrow, sir? Oh man. A bit convenient, the timing of Puss in Boots' arrival. I'll just quickly.
Yes, this was one of the things I was going to say. Right. It seems like the confluence of all of these parties coming into play all at once just strikes me as like, I'm not sure that it all. I don't know that there's any way to make it all line up in a way that feels like perfect, but it just struck me as like, man, the timing of all of this, the fact that like the map itself was being found around about the time that Puss in Boots would feel compelled to need it, right after his 8th death rather than his 7th, 6th, 5th, or any number of times before that. And then of course the fact that he's going to bump into Kitty here as well, of any of the people that he could have encountered on an adventure like this in a world filled with this many zany, wacky characters. Then again, I might be misremembering something there about that.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, it just the timing is very much lines up for all of this to happen.
I completely agree.
But I mean, what else? It's not really a big deal, right? Because it's consequential. It's just that it doesn't have much of an implication on character. Like all of the characters choices that they would make given the information that they have at the time, which is the most important part of assessing the consequences of a breach or like a stretch like this.
Because if we look at the hierarchy of flaws,
overthink it. Look, we've been not overthinking as far as I'm concerned, delving into the details of all of the really impressive stuff that the film does. It's okay to talk about whether or not there might be a few stretches in the plot, right? Calm down.
Yeah, like we
Calm
talk about,
down.
we talk about like the full spectrum here, and we've been pretty fucking, I wouldn't say generous, because like the film has just earned the praise up until this point. So I think it's earned like a little bit of ribbing. And if we look at the hierarchy, because flaws are kind of in a hierarchy, right, where I would rather you have a contrivance rather than a straight up contradiction, like, especially.
It means it's a possibility. It's just not very likely, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Yeah.
a contradiction, which is an outright hole. It's impossible.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like you could have tried harder to get these things to line up, more than it is like I am at you've broken your story here. There was something else that was in here. Oh yeah, the quote, "It wasn't a fairy tale, it was a nursery rhyme." That got a chuckle out of me.
Yeah, Jack Horner from the fairy tale. It was a nursery rhyme, and then he does like his little dance. In the flashback,
Oh, yeah,
and there's
yeah,
like
yeah,
Pinocchio on the other side. Ah, I'm a real boy. And it's like, I was a boy this
I'm
whole
a real
time.
boy. Yeah, exactly. He's a real boy this whole time. Just this bitter
Oh,
resentment
God.
of his past.
Yep, and I do like
But
that.
then
They're. Oh, sorry.
Oh no! If you've got something to say there, then go for it.
Well, mine's more a funny observation, so I assume you have a little bit more substance than my upcoming joke. So I'll wait.
I was just gonna be that Kitty is hiding in the box with the map, where it's just like,
Well, he opened
Yeah.
the box. How did he not see her?
Yeah.
Because
she
then
was
she
hiding
must
in the
have
top
must have.
part. She was
cl-
hiding in the top.
Yeah, and I think you can actually see can see the top there at some time.
It's also just like, man, that is like, oof, like that's a big risk
Yeah.
you're taking there.
Yeah, because now
Go
I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if I can find the
But the thing
frame.
is that if she was in there, why would she wait until she got here to escape? Why wouldn't she have
Yeah.
done that many opportunities earlier? This is the worst place to do it.
Yeah. So here's the thing: she must have snuck in right when it closed, because we can actually see inside, and there's no one there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But I don't know
Just
when that
leap
should
for
have
it.
happened. I don't think that's possible.
I don't see how that's
Ah.
possible when he's right there. And I guess when he was looking up, maybe.
Is it
But then what
possible
was her
that she's
plan?
on the
No,
bottom?
the
with
thing is we
scroll?
see it close
Oh, we
right
see the
here.
top. Yeah, she's not there. She's
Okay.
She's not there.
Yeah.
You're bamboozling me.
I mean, here I
movie.
can go next frame, and we see it close all the way. So, yeah, it's just there's no way. It's not happening.
Her skill is
Yeah.
that she's super sneaky. I know that, but like she's not there.
Yeah, she's just not there.
Could she be on the bottom of the box, maybe, and like she was
And then
already
you
in
would've
there?
seen- well, surely he
Would-
would have
or would-
seen her for sure then, because that was he was looking at the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know
And
what its
the
eye line
problem is
was.
that if because the bears told her about it, but they told her like a while ago, right? So like so it doesn't matter, right? The fact that she would do it now rather than while it was en route in much safer places, it doesn't matter. The timing is just like it's just not working.
Yeah.
But
I guess we have
but I
to.
guess,
In this case, it's just like this thing we have to accept in the movie, quote unquote, because she just does things off screen in like a frame or something. Like,
yeah, they do that in the first movie too, and it's like, yeah, that's chill and all, like it's a fun meme, but she's not there. She's not in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what essentially enables these two characters to meet again, and it's pretty clear for those of you who didn't even see like Puss in Boots, they have history, and it's
Right.
not great.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's not very good. I mean, it seems like Puss in Boots still really likes her, but she's not as much of a fan.
Yeah,
No.
so they have baggage, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And I
which,
do-
by the way, it doesn't even exist in the first Puss in Boots movie. Like, the main hang-up and problem between them, the unresolved thing, is, like, not in that movie. I don't know why it wasn't in that movie. Like, because it better explains why he would have never seen her again in those other films. It's good that they have it, because I think it's a worthwhile thing to explore. It's just not from the first film at all. Their relationship in the
Yeah.
first film is incredibly thin by comparison to the relationship that they have in this movie. She's way more developed herself.
Yeah, I completely. Yeah, from what you're describing, it does sound like this film almost like pumps up that relationship that was just very like almost non-existent before.
Yeah, Belly was a relationship, and now it's like one that's pretty interesting to see play out on screen.
Yeah, which is it's the power of the next installment. How you can take something that wasn't really something, but had potential, and then you can flesh it out into something that might even make previous chapters more meaningful in retrospect. It's interesting how this sort of thing works. I also like how I like the so you're seeing the Midas touch thing
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
all I could think was, oh, their payment is a golden fingering. Nice.
God damn it, meme.
Look. If it was just a hand, I wouldn't have thought of it. But he's literally like He's got the point going and everything. I couldn't not.
I know you couldn't not. I know. I've known you long enough now. I
Yeah,
don't blame you.
that's how my brain is wired.
Then yeah, the reason why Kitty was there was because the Bears tried to hire her 2 weeks ago. And yes, that I think you have to be like, why didn't she try before now?
Yeah.
The reason why she tried now is because it means that she meets Puss and they go on their adventure. So it's a stretch. It's a bit of a problem. But now all of them are there. And the Bears and Goldilocks show up.
Yeah.
So they're all there about to fight it over the map.
Yeah, because they crash right into the room very hard.
Yeah.
And right, let me see.
Well, because then it's no, it might be worthwhile to talk about that later. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, but there's a funny joke where Goldilocks takes the bottle that's got the ship in it. The mini ship smashes it, and then everybody starts falling out. Everybody's screaming.
And they're like,
Yeah, my notes. It's, no, the tiny people, no.
Yeah. And then she said, hand over the map or I'll punch tiny like holes in you. It's like, jeez.
Oh my god.
Like with the shattered broken glass, yeah. And we have a pretty cool action scene where they take the flying carpet and go traveling through the factory. The carpet was actually pinned down. That's the reason why they had to take a little pin out of the corner so they could fly. That's kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah.
They fly away with the carpet.
There was an opportunity here to play a Spanish version of Magic Carpet Ride by Steppenwolf, and they didn't do it, but that's okay. That's okay. I can forgive them for this faux pas.
I'd say that I think that this film, more so than the first one, like leans more into the Spanish like culture and like white. Like the first film didn't really feel like it did that all that much. Despite the fact that this one has a bunch of like different characters, right? Jack Horner and his like pie factory, and then the Bears being British, like very Cockney British, but it still feels like it leans more into that Spanish like influence.
Yeah. Especially how about the fact that Death is apparently Spanish as well.
Yeah, which I like.
Oh yeah,
I just like that.
Such a good voice. Such a good voice.
It's the guy who played Pablo Escobar on Narcos.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's great. Basically, the TLDR on the chase though is that they get chased and they escape, but essentially because neither Puss nor Kitty want to let go of the map.
Yeah, and
then
they
have to stick together.
Yeah.
But something that gets mentioned is it's Santa Santa Coloma. That's something about Santa Coloma has resulted in a breach of trust.
I don't trust you.
For
not since Santa Coloma, but I trust Perito board that I trust you. Is basically the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they
yeah, that's his name. That's right.
They make their way to the dark forest, and we also see the wolf once more because I don't think we mentioned it before, but he has like this whistle, like this little whistle
he does.
going on.
Oh, that's great.
And we hear that here in this scene, and Puss sees Wolf and is like pretty afraid again. It's not a good time.
Right after giving a bunch of gold to the people in the town, like, yeah, I'm Puss in Boots, I'm the hero, woohoo! But then There's the wolf, ready to shatter any illusions about that.
Yeah,
And there
there
was
it is.
the coins on his eyes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah,
ferryman. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just have in my notes he's Wonder Woman because he put the coins on his eyes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that film's going to be etched into my subconscious for the rest of my life. That's a scary thought.
For some reason, I still didn't make the connection for him being literal death. Like, I was actually trying to think about it this one. I was like, oh, is he just like in his brain, just the scariness, just hallucinating
no,
up, basically?
Already by this, I'm like, yeah, he's death.
Yeah, but pretty soon we realized, like, no, I'm death. It's like, oh, okay. I'm glad I've been told that because my dumb brain didn't make the connection, even though it's all right there.
Well,
And,
at least
like,
it
we
wasn't
have,
like my. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
Well, at least it wasn't like my brain where I immediately made the connection and then I took the film's word for it that he was just a bounty hunter. And then it was only when he appears in an impossible place later on, just before the reveal, where it was like, oh, maybe he is death. Are you Fringy?
Jack Horner like takes a bunch of because that's what he takes all of his stuff, all of his collections, put them in his endless bag, and assembles his baker's dozen to go chase after them.
He uses the isn't that the magic wand from Cinderella he uses on the pumpkin?
I think so.
Yeah, and then just becomes this.
Meanwhile, he shatters the shoe. He doesn't care about the slipper. He just
makes
throws it away.
Makes this big driving fortress with the baker's dozen. It's great.
Yeah, with his infinite bag of tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, when we see a lot of things a bit closer that will be used throughout the encounters we see. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, something that was cool about the carriage is that there was a little like Transformers sound effect when it like transforms into its bigger version. I thought like, oh, that's a little neat touch. I like that. Had Transformers on the brain the last few months, so I think maybe I'm just pattern seeking at this point. Let's see. Yeah. So when they're walking to the dark forest, which is about to come up, something I noticed is so we have that text at the beginning, which is this is a fairy tale, and then we have that same style of text on the map, which I thought was just a nice little touch, nice little touch right there.
Well, yes, because they look at the map on the carriage, but it's kind of like they don't really, it doesn't have any information on it yet because they're not there.
Yeah.
And then it was really funny when Perito is just like, he interjects in their little fight, and then Kitty points her sword and Puss points his little stick. And then I think, she's like, what's your deal? Like, you're running with gangs or whatever. And he says, I don't think so. She says, I don't believe you. He's like, that's okay, as long as you believe in yourself.
As long as you believe in yourself.
And she just, she don't know what to do with that. And then I think that's the first scene where we get them using the bleeping sound effect because he gets called a lot of things and one of them was shit for brains.
Yeah.
When you hear that beep, you're not ready for it. And it's like, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's a good meme.
That's good.
That's good.
That's
beep.
good bleep. Yeah, and because beforehand, that's like the very first proper bleep. Because before it's just a cut off. Yeah.
Because we're building up. That's the second part of the joke, and there's a third one coming up. That's gonna be
That's gonna be so good.
A really good meme. And then we have a really cool like montage as well as they're all traveling to get to the forest, where it's like all of the characters cast against these really great looking backgrounds. The sun there, it's really cool rendering. Wow. No, it was. It's really cool. It's neat. It's a neat visual, one of many.
Oh, and they went hard on the cinematography here.
They did. It looks great.
Yeah,
Puss still with his beard.
Stroking his beard.
Oh yeah. This is the scene where I realized that Soft Paws actually looks like one of my cats, and I was like, oh, I'm slightly more invested now. Like I was already super invested, but now it's like a decimal point onto my investment right there.
Yeah, they No, they're there. They're in front of the entrance, in the dark forest, and it basically looks like a I don't know, demonic portal almost. It's like
Yeah,
this.
almost like a video game portal in a way.
Yeah, just trying to find a frame. Yeah, there you go. Just look at this, just like an actual entrance where you teleport to somewhere else.
But then when they get inside, we get the cute eyes scene.
The cute off.
The classic Puss in Boots.
Oh, you have it written
meme.
as cute off in your notes too?
Yeah.
But this is the first time with the new style of them doing it, and they definitely push the they definitely exaggerate the features a lot more.
Oh yeah, they're not afraid to stretch and squish and all of the animation things.
It's a really good joke. Like it was in Shrek 2. That one was always really funny. Just him with the cute eyes there. Just to take
Just putting Perito in that
environment,
in all this, he was like, "Oh, look at him. How can you not trust him?" It's like, "Oh, look at her." It just goes back and forth until it just kind of falls over.
Which one is the cutest? Because I think that there's a definitive choice.
The paws get me. The paws definitely get me.
So, the cutest one is Puss with the hat. That one's the best. Hiding his face behind the hat. It's perfect. Look at him.
Yeah.
Actually, let's take a look at that.
I'm gonna.
There's a beard. There's the paws.
Beard.
Yeah. Oh, it's really quick with the hat. Actually.
Oh, you're right.
Damn.
Oh,
missed
that is
it again.
Look at him. Look at him. Look at him with the hat.
No.
So look at this.
No.
Cuteness overload. Just passes out.
the power of a good accessory. The power of a good accessory. Yeah.
That's the best one.
I do have a soft spot for the kneading because the reason cats do that is because that's how they would get milk from their mum when they're kittens, and that kind of just transfers over into their humans who they see as parental figures. I think it's just a really cute thing that they do. What else do I have seen? The star is only accessible. Yeah.
Oh shit! All right.
Like the purity of heart.
The next thing is that them basically when they touch the map, there's some level of reflection in the dark forest about like how they feel about themselves or the world. It is reflected in the path they have to go through. So like Puss in Boots is like the Valley of Incineration, like the Cave of Lost Souls, and then like when Kitty tries it, hers is also like pretty terrifying as well. It like transforms it into this like the Swamp of Infinite Sorrows and all that. But meanwhile, when touches it, it's this nice, dainty, like quaint little forest.
It's a pocket full of posies and oh wait, I had them all written down here.
Well, one of Kitty's was the Abyss of Eternal Loneliness. Which
they're
all very appropriate because we'll see other ones for other characters later on as well.
Yeah, like nostalgic woods or something like that.
Yeah, nostalgia woods. Pocket? Yeah, sure.
Pocket full of posies.
Yeah,
and the River of Relaxation.
River of Relaxation, that's the one I was missing. Yeah, I was just trying to find that. And he's like just super excited. Oh, that sounds great. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, the field of quick and easy solutions.
Yeah, it's great. But he's
so
like,
a pocket full of posies.
Yeah,
that
but then
comes from the poem, right?
Then he's also like, oh yeah, but that's not my adventure. It's your adventure. I don't want to intrude. He's like, oh, you're so kind. Stop it.
So pure.
Yeah, even when Kitty threatens him, it's like, don't cross me, or I'll kill you. He's like, oh yeah, sure, okie dokie. Like,
okie dokie. Because they basically go like, you take the map.
I got an interesting note about a pocket full of posies because that comes from that poem or that nursery rhyme, right? A tissue, we all fall down. I just find that funny that that's associated with the wholesome character when that poem is about the Black Death. Because that's why are they all falling down? Why are they going a tissue? Because they're dying of the plague, and then they fall down. I think there's like a big historical thing for that that's been lost over the years. And I was blown away when I found that out. So that's your bit of trivia for this section.
Yeah.
Now, when I think it was at this point when I saw Goldilocks and the three bears coming in that I was like, I'm guessing that her wish is that she wants to have like a regular family and not the bears, which obviously turned out to be the case.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quickly.
Yeah, I had a different prediction for this part. Not in terms of her wish, but when I saw that the environment could dynamically shift, my immediate thought was like, I wonder if they're going to do that during the action sequences to get some like really cool like possibilities going. Yeah,
that was a certainty.
Yeah,
I think what I realized is when it was a changing landscape, it's like I bet you that they do something with like the three bears and like the house to sort of explain how they became a family.
Right.
And I knew that because I thought of that, it's like, right, so I bet you what she wants is she don't want that family, and then she'll realize her family, they are her family, you know, and she loves them. Like, yeah, I did figure that one out fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's a good deduction there.
Well, I mean, it all follows, right? It's like an interesting thing to explore with that character. If she got adopted by that family and whether or not she'd be content with it.
Yeah, we call it a missed opportunity if they didn't.
Yeah, because it ties in pretty heavily, which is to like a certain level of contentment with what you have, especially with like Perito, right? That's his attitude. Whatever the situation is, whatever his life circumstances or who he's around, he's just content and happy with it.
Yeah.
And like
always sees the silver lining all the time.
Yeah.
To the point of delusion, basically.
To the point but I mean, what does it matter if he's really happy?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
that's the thing, right?
Happy,
I mean,
doesn't matter.
We get that thing like here in a little bit. I think after the scene with the with those posies where
he stops to smell the roses.
Yeah,
he does the thing that nobody ever does. People say stop and smell the roses, but he actually does it.
Yeah, and this is what you need to do here to actually progress through his part of these. I guess like pit stops before you get to the star. You could call them.
Well, yeah, it feels very appropriate that his path is essentially non-resistance. He doesn't need to fight anything. Like the path to get to the star is a matter of non-resistance, which is essentially his the way that he moves through life anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, and then he tells the backstory basically of like what happened, how he was like abandoned.
Yeah.
And dropped in the. It's actually pretty dark because
it is very dark, but where it's like, oh, it's a really funny story actually, and they listen to him. It's like, oh yeah, so I have like my mates and family, like we always play like hide and seek or something, but
he always found a way back.
He always found a way back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
like, I guess I'm still
but at one point they're great. They had such a epic funny prank they did on me. Like they put me in a sock with a stone and just throw me in that river. Oh, crazy. But jokes on them. I made my way out, got rid of the stone, and swam back up. But they were nowhere to be seen anymore. They were all.
He's like, yeah.
They're all gone.
And he's still wearing the sock.
So basically, I'm still it. But jokes on them.
Yeah.
I won, have this cool story to tell, and also got a free sweater out of it. Win-win.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh.
Of course, it's like a terrible story. And then Kitty's like, you should get the wish. Like, your life is awful. You should get it. And then he's like, no, man. Like, I got my two friends here. I got everything I could want. And he doesn't want for anything. He's just very content with the life as it is.
Yeah. Also, again, just with the animation, the way they two react to that story, just look at them. It says everything.
Yeah.
They're like, holy shit. Like, bro, they tried to kill you, and you think you got a free sweater. You're crazy, man. You should get a wish.
You talk about balancing comedy and drama.
Yeah.
This absolutely horrendous story about him being abandoned to death, and he's just there like, yeah, no, it's pretty funny. You know, it's his funny story of me.
Yeah. And I
And
think
these expressions are pretty funny too. You know.
yeah,
Yeah,
Kitty even says this is the funniest sad story I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's completely appropriate, and I think that's why it works, because it's funny because it's so like, oh my god.
It's so very dark, and the fact that he's just totally chill and happy about it is like what makes it really funny. It's just baffling.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's totally happy. And then like they actually kind of feel inclined to take his advice on just actually stopping and smelling the roses to progress.
Yeah.
They're starting to realize that maybe like Perito has some wisdom to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, because he's like, oh, I don't need to wish. I'm just having this great time here with my 2 new friends. What could I possibly wish for? And it's like, come on, come and smell them roses. Like, oh, all right, I guess so. And then they just do.
Hmm.
And they're like, even surprised, like, oh shit, that actually worked. That was
Yeah, and this is so fitting. Like, you know, sometimes it's just worth it to appreciate the little things. Stop and smell the roses. You know, that's so in keeping Burrito. Yeah,
Perito actually does it. People say it, but nobody ever does it. He did it. He actually stopped to smell the roses.
I think it's like legit great advice. I mean, I can just
it's something that I think I've talked about a bunch, for which I often I'm not sure that I've figured out the answer yet, but like Perito is kind of like, I don't know, man, like if he can have like these terrible things happen to him and then he's like happy and it doesn't affect him negatively, then like he wins ultimately.
Yeah. Ultimately,
all he has is his frame of mind. All he has is his frame of mind, and he's like not a bitter negative person. He's just happy.
Yeah.
Like in general, he's got it figured out, and a lot of it is just like deriving value from like whatever situation he's in right now, and not like fighting and wanting for like so many things. It's what makes him different from every other character in the story. Puss obviously wants to reclaim his lives back, to reclaim an image of himself or an attitude that he used to have without realizing that he may need to change. Kitty's obviously got the issues of like abandonment and loneliness that she wants to reconcile. Goldilocks is not content with her life. She's not able to just appreciate the family that she has, and Jack Horner is just like absolutely like wants to, you know, be powerful and get everything for himself. Meanwhile, Perito is he's just chill. He's happy.
Yeah.
He's good, and he doesn't want anything. He's okay with what he has.
He's almost a monk.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I don't know how great it is in the long run if you go like actual delusional. I mean, he's obviously the extreme portrayed in this movie, right?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, this is a story that's bound within certain parameters that make it like. Yeah. I don't know how Perito deals with like real world problems, right?
Exactly.
He's just totally cool with everything breaking down in a fantasy world. In a more simplistic lens, I think it works as a contrast.
Yeah.
Because I mean, of course, like Perito obviously has objectives, right? He wants to help them get their wishes. So like, it's not like he's a totally passive loser. Like he is willing to like go out there and do things and help people, and we see that later on.
Right.
Absolutely, and I think it helps that he's such a young character as well, which means that he does have that almost like delightfully naive lens. Like he hasn't been like, he's been through a lot of stuff, but he's still at that point where he can like perceive it in a way that maybe someone who had been like hardened through time would not be able to. So I think that also works in the film's favor.
But I mean, it's interesting in that he's had a lot of negative experiences that just they don't seem to cause him problems.
Yeah, like water off a camel's back, I think is the saying there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Next part is more Jack Horner. Oh, do you have something? Do you have more?
Oh yeah, it's just always when like these kinds of themes come up or whatever. I actually like to use like my current situation doing the YouTube stuff, because that's like one of those things where you actually have to like step back once in a while and just look where you are and don't look at where other people are. Like comparison
is the thief of joy.
Yeah. it's not all bad when you go around. It's like, oh, look how good this is going for other one. But you want to pretty much look how it's going for you. I mean, I think I talked about this on Drinker's channel actually when I was on open bar because it came up for some reason.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I think someone asked for someone in the super chat asked for advice for starting YouTube, and then that's basically where I said don't compare yourself and numbers and whatever to yourself. Like it gets it's easy to lose track of where you are. I mean, I'm often around people that have like hundreds and thousands and even million. I mean, Drinker has like 1.5 million subscribers, and I was on that channel with like 12,000 live viewers. And I'm not going like, oh man, why don't I have 12,000? Like, I'm just looking here. There's 300 people in chat right now. It's like, why? What happened? When did that happen? That's insane. That's really awesome.
It's cumulative.
Because just a year ago, that wasn't a thing. Like, it's crazy. I'm just baffled that 300 people come to my stuff that I set up. Like, it's crazy to me because not too long ago it was like 15, maybe like 50 or 70 when I do like my live streambles. And that's where like this lesson that Perito portrays comes in. Just look what you have, and not only like look what you can have. Obviously, you should obviously still look if you have like objectives and goals you want to reach. You probably want to look at someone's like, oh, maybe this is like where I want to go for now, or this is what I want to do. But don't stress too much. Don't go like, oh, he gets so many super chats and so many members and so many Patreon and whatnot. It's like, no, just chill out. Just chill out. Do your thing, and it's all gonna be fine. Don't go too crazy with the paranoia.
Exactly. Yeah, that kind of comes back to the atomic habits thing of like it's just about getting your reps in. And as long as you have a consistency going with you, like results will happen, and they're not going to happen when you think they're going to happen. But the important thing is you're just getting it in, and you're not focusing on that end result, but instead and just maintaining good habits and doing it for like healthy reasons. And appreciate, and it's like you said, appreciating what you have and what you have accomplished. Like, the people, like, this is something pretty profound that I discovered, is that the people we admire the most, that we think would be the most content, have instead just found new things to be envious of in their higher positions. So really everyone goes through it. Everyone has this struggle, and realizing that makes it easier as well. It makes you appreciate what you do have, and what you have accomplished, and it makes you appreciate how much more of an adventure you have to go on. And there's just so many there's always a positive way to frame something, even when you're struggling, and like, because like you go through something negative, I try to think about the lessons I'm learning from that negative experience, and the values that that I can gain from it, rather than trying to wallow in it for too long. And I think Perito is kind of he is the embodiment of that, right? He's all about just appreciating what you have, and not getting too bogged down in everything. It reminds me of something. I don't know if either of you watch Dr. K, but it reminds me because he takes on he like addresses, because he's a psychiatrist, so he takes on like viewer questions and stuff like that. And one of the things that often comes up is someone just completely overthinking what they're doing in life, and it gives them this paralysis, because it feels like statistically, no matter what choices they could make, it feels like something really negative could happen because of that. And I think this is something that has stuck with me, is that sometimes you do have to be a little bit naive. Sometimes you do have to just be a little bit stupid in order to get things done, because often the people who get things done, they're not thinking through all the bad things. Like, so it's important to have a healthy level of caution, but sometimes you need to just do something, even if there is risk of something bad happening. Sometimes you do need to just make a fool out of yourself in order to make progress in life. And I think, and the people who make progress are the people who are willing to make fools of themselves and who are willing to let this put themselves in situations where, if you're listening to all of your caution, you probably wouldn't be there. But if you listen to all of your caution, you're not opening yourselves up to the really good things that can happen in life. And I think it's about just accepting that negative things are part of the game of life. And if you don't accept the negative things that could happen and roll with them, you don't open yourself up to the really positive, amazing things that life can offer as well. And I think that's a lot of what Perito is embodying there.
See, the problem is I wanted to be like, all right, and so now we can talk about the central theme of Puss in Boots. It's like, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Not into that yet.
Yeah.
Then again, you'll probably realize when someone is trying to murder you, probably be careful.
Yeah, but probably engage caution at that point. Life is trial and error, absolutely.
Yeah, that's why the most common thing that big YouTubers tell you, if you ask them, it's like, hey, how should I start the channel? There's a reason why the most common phrase said is just start, because that's what you gotta do.
Starting is 80% of the work, a lot of the time.
Well, it's the saying, well begun is half done.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's a really good saying. I'm gonna remember that.
The philosophy stream has it. this
Yep.
This particular episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
I'm not complaining.
Sometimes. Yeah, no, it's fun stuff.
And it's on Puss in Boots. I think that's a funny thing, is that the Puss in Boots film is the very philosophically rich episode.
I don't find it very surprising, because it was something that Kung Fu Panda was like very clearly deriving a lot of its core themes and messages from like Taoist sort of philosophy. It's pretty evident, and too as well, like deriving a lot of like the nature of what it means to attain inner peace, like in the sense of identity and value that one derives from like them simply from existing compared to, other metrics by which people will judge their success. The notion of like that the present is all you have, that the future is, it's the Uguay quote, right? Yesterday is yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. It's like that's a pretty great way to summarize like some of those core, like you see in a lot of like animated films. It feels like because there's often this desire to like really bake in like a core message into a lot of these types of films, and because it's usually like one core theme, something that's like focused in on really clearly. It's the reason why a lot of the old Pixar films, a lot of the DreamWorks films will like have that core message that's like good to extract, like really easy to extract and universally pretty acceptable. Like universally it'll be something that people can understand and appreciate and agree with. Like like what you would see in like The Incredibles or WALL-E or Shrek, right? Like the sort of the inner beauty that people have that like beyond surface level superficial metrics that people use, right? Like Shrek is actually the hero despite being the ogre. Fiona is beautiful for who she is. It doesn't matter, right? Like love is blind, those sorts of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, and it doesn't bash you over the head over it either. It allows it to just be, which really nice.
This film in
really
particular,
nice.
definitely, I don't feel like it's too heavy-handed with it at all. I think they handle it pretty well.
Yeah, because a lot of films they just want to like make sure the audience doesn't miss the message, and it's just like, come on, you don't need to. This film doesn't insult our intelligence.
I don't know how you don't miss I don't know how you miss the message in this film. To be fair, though, I don't see.
Oh
how
yeah.
You can possibly misunderstand what this film is about.
Yeah, I think it's obvious, but not like overbearing. I think is the way to put it.
I think it's only obvious in the sense that it's built up really well. Yeah, like it's nobody's misunderstanding it because all of the references to support that interpretation are really sound.
Yeah, it's very well constructed to serve that conclusion.
I guess if we want to press on with what was happening in the film. That I think the next part is when Jack Horner gets to the bountiful roses, and then he meets the cricket, Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, he's this kind of. He also has
Under
Excalibur.
conscience, you know. Yeah, but Excalibur is on a rock. He never figured it out.
It's like I couldn't get it out, but it's still pretty cool, right?
Yeah. When I saw that, I was just like, wow, does Excalibur just make the rock around it like indestructible? And then you see the rock smashing to pieces. It's like, oh no, you're just a lazy shit. Okay.
Just lazy.
Well, I mean, it's basically, we see it right when Jack gets there, and then the cricket, like, he pulls out the phoenix and just burns down the field.
Yeah.
he has there is like no pretense of him even trying to engage with what's happening here. It's just a path of destruction. And poor Jiminy Cricket is just like, oh, this is going to be really hard.
Yeah, really hard.
My work cut out for me on this one. Jiminy Cricket he's got the little hat as well. What's that hat called? It's like a very 1920s, 30s style hat. I don't know what it's called. You guys know? It's the working man hat that everybody wore in the 20s and 30s.
I feel like it starts with a T.
I've always really liked it.
Yeah, that's like the Charlie Chaplin hat, is it? Or am I thinking of a different one?
No, because trilbies are like, I'm talking a very working man kind of, no, I feel like trilby's kind of like it's kind of, it's not a trilby, no.
A bowler hat?
Is that what it's called?
Let me
help me out.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
No, god damn it. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, where's Jiminy Cricket? You gotta get him up there so that people know.
Hang on. I just want to point out this one. I like this one because this guy gets basically killed by the flower, and the guy on the right goes like, Jerry, no!
A much more effective use of The Last of Us 2's calling out your friend's name. Calling out your friend's name.
Yeah, I was taking it a little aback. I get it's thematically appropriate that there's a lot of death in this film from the Baker's Dozen, but I think because I was in like kid,
a driver or a flat cap, I think is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
It's called. I don't know why. I've always liked it, but I've never worn one in my life. I don't wear hats.
Yeah, I'll wear it if it's like if I'm doing like a shoot or something, but as a general stylistic choice, I'll only wear a hat if I don't want to have my skin get burned.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's great.
He has one of the best jokes in the film.
No.
Aren't you like a magic locust or something? It's like, no, I'm like your conscience. I sit in your shoulder and judge you and your character. And it just starts burning down the flowers. And it goes, oh man, I got my work cut out with this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just love
the character.
Yeah, and I just love the idea of
pairing. Look at the flames. Look at how they're rendered. It looks so great. The film looks amazing, like all the time.
Yeah, like we've had some serious leaps in 3D animation in the last 5-7 years or so. And I'm all on board for it. I am all on board for it. And they're not just going for ultra real anymore.
Yeah,
which is good.
Way more diversity in the art style. And the thing is there's other
look
references.
At the poor Phoenix.
No, just getting squeezed.
There's like a little tear coming.
No.
It's like, ah!
I don't want to burn this down. No. But yes, you're right, Meme. There's been a lot more style exploration in 3D animated films recently, and a lot of the studios pushing it. It hasn't really been Disney. It's been DreamWorks and Sony. They've been pushing these different styles. Because The Bad Guys is another one that has like a really unique art style. That film looks great. It's really energetic and it's got a cool style. And there's other. I think there was a Captain Underpants movie that kind of went for like a different sort of art style than is conventional. I'm pretty sure there are other DreamWorks movies that have experimented with like more traditional 2D animation techniques like smears. But Disney, it feels like kind of of course, those films still look really good. It's just that it's
like the normal
seem to be developing
normal animation style, right?
Yeah. Because even something like Turning Red, even though that was kind of going for like a Cal Arts like art style, it still got similar like rendering techniques as like other Pixar films. Whereas
Yeah.
Puss in Boots is like a painting come to life. The bad guys kind of looks like a kid's picture book come to life, and obviously Spider-Verse is like the sort of pop art, like 50s comic book, 60s comic book style in animation. It's just and now it's to the point that Disney is starting to like. I think the next theatrical film is going for like a watercolor style. It's like they're starting to catch up in terms of a willingness to explore different styles. But I imagine that film, even with a different rendering style, is still going to have the same general character art. I don't think it's going to be like radically different, because there is like a Disney style that's been firmly established. And I don't think they're ever going to deviate from it, because it's pretty effective. Like, there's never like a Disney film that's ugly. I don't know that there is such a thing. They all look really nice. But it just seems like there's less experimentation than what we're seeing from other. Elementals from Pixar is probably, that one is looking different. But that wasn't the one I was talking about. I think it's called Wish. That's like the Disney Animation Studios one that's going for a watercolor sort of style.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's catching up on the big thing, because I remember for the longest time, like 3D animation, like one of the things that was kind of, I don't know if upsetting is the right word, but like the thing that was unfortunate about it becoming dominant to the point of 2D being completely phased out is that 3D wasn't capturing the same like energy and movement that 2D often was. But now we're starting to see 3D kind of blend into that space where you can animate on twos, where you can have all these stylistic elements that emphasize momentum and speed and
motion,
exactly,
and all that.
Yeah, like very intentional, dynamic. There's a word for it where you pause and then you can see the is it key pose? Is that the word for it? Key frame. Yeah. So you see those now.
There's always been keyframes in 3D animation. It's just that because of the nature of like, there's not really animated films, like 3D animated films don't do the thing that 2D animated films will sometimes employ, where they animate on twos instead of ones. Because when it's 3D animation, it's not the same consideration of having to draw like each frame individually. You're moving characters like in software, so you can have it be really smooth. You don't have to. Whereas like animating on twos to some extent can be like a choice that you make that just means you just don't have to draw as many images. But we see it in a lot of these action scenes, right? And those are like techniques that they have to work on, of having backgrounds animate like on ones, but then the characters animating on twos. And it super emphasizes each of those movements. Like there's a lot of really strong keyframes in the action scenes.
Yeah, and I think, and they're also more willing to distort the models in the same way that 2D will squish and stretch, which I think is really good.
Also, I assume animating on twos means every second frame is a new one or something.
The way that you would think about it is films are 24 frames per second, and each frame, like if you're animating on twos, the image holds across 2 frames instead of 1. So what you'll notice is, like, if you go slow motion on like Spider-Verse or this film, you'll notice that the characters will hold their poses for longer than like the backgrounds. And it's just a thing where it's like the nature of the illusion of animation. It's like what your eye will pick up by way of like, details and movements. Animation on twos just it can often make a movement seem stronger. It's just like a choice that you make, and obviously in this film it's used pretty selectively, whereas like Spider-Verse is majority like twos.
Okay.
Whereas it's mainly in the action scenes. I think Spider-Verse is majority twos. I think it is. It does that a lot more than this film does. This film is a lot more selective. It's relegated mainly to action scenes.
Yeah, Spider-Verse only starts to go into the ones territory when it's like slowing down, like when he's leaping from the building, for example.
Yes. I think there are a few instances like when Aaron Prowler gets shot. I think that one is a lot smoother.
Yeah, it's almost like they almost recreate like a sense of slow motion using the ones, which is an interesting effect.
Somebody was asking about smears. So smears is like, have you ever seen like to simulate basically, you know how like when you're moving really fast and you try to take a picture, like if you're in a car and you take a picture and it's like it's just like a smear, like
Right.
you can't capture any details because it's moving too
Motion
fast.
blur?
Smears an animation. Yeah, basically, but not in like a moving image, right? In a still. So a smear will be
Yeah.
a technique that you use to try and emulate that look. So like it might be like Bugs Bunny or Daffy Duck moves really fast, and instead of actually like drawing them in the position that they're in, like if you were, it's like a blur, like you're like simulating a motion blur.
Yeah, I've had to do that with some of my stuff, like when I'm superimposing like a face onto like a live action piece of footage. I've had to add sometimes you know the inbuilt motion blur thing isn't quite enough, so I have to add a little bit of extra smear to the image just to really emphasize it. So I think I get what you're saying there.
Well, it's a smear because it looks like a smear, right? Like it's
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I called that. Oh, the next scene's when he gets his beard shaved.
Oh, we could. Okay,
Yeah.
we're continuing. Okay.
Oh, well, we've already gone for like 2.5 hours and we're only halfway through the
Oh, I
film.
know. That's fine.
This is because I'm here. I'm a multiplying factor on non-EFAP streams.
That's all good.
Do I have anything else for that part?
Yeah.
No, I think
actually, you can see Puss scratching his beard a whole bunch of times throughout the movie up until here, which is a neat little detail.
He's breaking.
Yeah.
Can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
my question is, if he's always covered in fur, how is the beard like? Because the reason the beard usually itches is because the face is not normally covered in hair, but suddenly it is, and then all the moisture from it is suddenly being sapped into the beard. So that's why you need to apply beard oil to stop the skin from drying out. But like he's already always covered in fur, so there's a slight thing I had a question about there, but
it's probably just for a joke.
Yeah,
I know what it's for. It's just I think about these things all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Wait, what do I want to say? Oh, right. Kitty is trying to teach Perito how to do the cute thing.
Yeah.
But he's just kind of can't do it. This one eye just goes really big, and he looks kind of floopy.
His eyes popping out of his head, and they think he's gonna get a hernia.
Yeah. And I think she also tells him that, you should always just trust yourself, because then you're more likely to win. Otherwise, you just get captured and declawed, or and whatever she says about that.
Yeah.
And then
she's of course because she got declawed by like her family, essentially.
Right. And then she steals his sweater, and he doesn't realize at first, and then he's like, "Oh, that's amazing! That's so impressive!" Like he doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He just says, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yeah, something that hit me about this scene is because she's been talking about her trust issues and everything, and the fact that this is where she's very explicit about the fact that she was declawed, and it was like, oh, no wonder you have that because that is like that can be a fate worse than death for some cats. It's that's the first line of defense is the claws, and if you get those extracted and taken away, like it's a cat just becomes immediately just uncoordinated, unbalanced. Like that's declawing is like you know what declawing like is on a physical level. That's like on a human that would be taking off. That would basically be chopping off your fingertips. That because it's not like removing the nail; it's removing the entire tip to stop anything from being able to grow there again. And that hit me hard because I'm very very anti declawing. Very thankful it's banned here.
Yeah.
Well, it was in the first film. She basically mentions it's the reason why she has such a soft touch is because she doesn't have any claws. But of course, conversely, right? Cat wants to have their claws.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the thing with her, right? She has trust issues, and there's another reason because she again like references Santa Coloma. She's still upset about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
yes.
getting closer to getting some answers on that.
We do. Yeah, obviously
Not
the whole
before-
beard scene is just pretty funny. It's like, oh, if you really want me to, I can get rid of the beard. And she's like, nah, I grew accustomed to it. I actually quite like it now. And he's like, God, please, it's so itchy. I hate it. It's disgusting. This is
After she saves him, though, she gives him the blade.
Yeah.
The little cat blade.
the little blade.
Yeah.
So it's at least some kind of weaponry now. And then he throws away the stick, and Perito runs after it
Jumps
because he's a
after
dog.
Yep.
And he runs straight into Jack Horner. And
That is Baker's dozen.
in this Baker's Dozen. I like how they Baker's Dozen behaves like a group of
They're all
goblins.
deranged. Yeah.
They go
They're
like,
nuts.
just lick the blades. Like they have some butcher's knives. They have like these I think what they call like crimping blades or whatever, or what they're called.
Oh yeah, and then there's the part where because he's got Perito and he's gonna shoot him with the unicorn horn. He points it at him, and then like I think
You can't
Jiminy
shoot a
Cricket's like,
puppy.
You're not gonna shoot a puppy, are you? Yeah, in the face. Why?
Why? It's so funny. So yeah, in the
Just-
face. Why?
So
There's good in
involved,
every
but-
man. There's good in every man.
Yeah,
it's probably my favorite joke in the movie. It's like,
that
yeah,
one's pretty good.
right in the face.
Especially
Why?
Perito's face. He's looking so sad. He's
Yeah.
just like, oh no, you're not gonna shoot me, are you? But then the Goldilocks and three bears, they're ready for a big fight over the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Um,
Softpaw tells Puss like, "Oh, whoever gets first to the dog, who gets to keep the map." And then she just goes off and starts doing the fighting, but Puss hears the whistle.
The
Right
cooming
after
of
a bit
death.
of a fight, he hears
Yeah,
the whistle.
hears
Yes.
the whistle. Also, we see Jack shoot people with the baby horns, and they just explode
Turns
into
into
confetti.
confetti.
And just says, "Oh, that's what they do. Cool." He's such an asshole.
He's such
You
a-
could have
he's
used
such a-
arrows.
So yeah, the map goes down, and then we hear the whistle, and we see the fur going up again.
Yeah,
And
he's. Uh-oh.
he
He's
just
followed
looks-
him here.
Yeah, he sees him in the background. Oh, just look at it. He's such a cool design. I love it. Just look at this.
Yeah. It's pretty terrifying.
I could
yeah.
see this in like a game. It's like, oh, it's good stuff. So yeah, Person was instantly like legit has like a panic attack and
Terrified.
runs away to hide, and it's yeah, you can hear the heartbeat and
Well,
heavy,
I guess,
heavy breathing and
It might be before jumping right into that scene
Yeah.
to mention that basically as a result, Goldilocks gets the map.
Right.
The scenery begins to change. Perito has gone after Puss, but Kitty is like no idea where they are and she's furious. But then we get this, which might be my favorite scene in the movie.
it's pretty fantastic. So Puss just runs away. He sees like the silhouettes of the wolf everywhere, like in the trees and stones, and then he's just lying there in a
Hyperventilating.
hyperventilating.
His heart is
You hear the heartbeat, and yeah, the Perito just lies his head on his belly basically, and just tries to calm him down. Might actually be one of the best depictions of a panic attack I've ever seen.
I know everybody
Absolute.
said it. Everybody said it and gushed over it, but like it's worthy of praise. It's a really
Yeah.
like fantastic scene. It really pulled you into the feeling that like he's just terrified. He's absolutely terrified,
Yeah,
and he just can't control himself. He can't control his
Yeah.
breathing. He can't control his heartbeat. And yeah, the thing that helps pull him out of it is just Perito being there,
yeah,
just resting his head on his stomach. it's surprisingly intense for what is the
Yeah.
movie that's obviously watched by kids. But it's really commendable that they were willing to essentially follow through and like fully execute on the idea of showing Puss like really panicked and freaked out about mortality, his own mortality.
Right.
Yeah, and
Because this leads to
the,
the first direct acknowledgement of it around these characters.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's when he finally allows himself to be vulnerable, and like even like there's a small thing there where you know, we get like one shot from his direct POV, and even the sound is distorted because his brain in his fearful state is having trouble processing like the auditory stimuli, because you know it is all just consumed by this by this fear reaction, this panic reaction, and it is so well done. I cannot praise it enough.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. And yeah, that's where. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we're about to get some really important information
Right.
here because
first
it's now when he's about to open up.
Yeah, because Puss tells Perito, which is actually the first time he calls him that.
Yes,
and
I
I'm
think
pretty
it is the
sure
first time.
Perito just means small dog in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It means puppy, I think. Yeah.
Puppy? Okay, yeah, that checks out. Yeah. And so it's like, hey, I lost all my lives. I'm on my last life, and I need this wish to get my life back, so I can be
the legendary Puss in Boots, you know?
Puss in Boots again. And Perito tells him, well, you should totally tell Kitty. That she would probably understand. And he's like, no, she absolutely cannot know, and she's not gonna trust me anyway. Not after what I did to her. Paloma. Yeah. And we basically get to hear that they were supposed to be married, but he didn't show up. He left her at the altar. Yeah. And that's why she is very distrustful of Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
But it's also important. The more important part here is, though, that he says he greatly regrets that day and is deeply ashamed that he did that.
Yes.
Puss in Boots should not be afraid, and he was afraid that day. And yeah.
I mean, it shows like a really bad sort of view of the way that he needs to be. I can't be afraid because Perito says it's okay to be afraid, and it's like, no, it's not. I'm Puss in Boots. I can't be afraid. But it's like, even when he's got the facade of being like the fearless hero, he was afraid of following through on that commitment. He ran off. And yeah, he's ashamed of it because he's ashamed of like that feeling of like basically succumbing to his fear. But he succumbs to his fear basically just by sort of almost pretending like it doesn't exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or that he shouldn't be afraid. It's interesting. It's an interesting choice to go for with a character to kind of explore that.
Yeah, it shows like a maladjusted relationship with fear, and this is how that he needs to come to terms with now that he is truly vulnerable and mortal, and confronting how that relationship with fear has twisted certain parts of his life, like his almost marriage, in very distinct ways.
It's like he needs to discover a willingness to be vulnerable, essentially.
Yeah.
The value in vulnerability.
100%.
Right. And this part, the second part, not the part with the lives, Kitty actually hears that part. Yes. That he is ashamed of that day. And she hears that, and then she just pretends like she didn't hear it and goes like, hey, Puss, Perito, where you are? It's like, oh, there you are. Oh, man, I was looking for you this whole time. So yeah, she acknowledges that what he said, but he doesn't know that she knows, basically.
Yeah.
And then they decide to go after the bears because they currently have the map. And I think that's where we get the cabin scene, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And basically what happens here, so they're just kind of dancing around now, as you can see. It's like, yeah, we got the map. It's all cool. It's like, but she doesn't really tell them what the wish is. Just kind of keeps that to herself. And yeah, they make their way to the cabin they live in. And yeah, it's basically it's their home cabin, and basically there's all the things they like and they like to do. It's like there's like the honey that baby likes and the dad likes, and he just wants to hibernate because they're bears. They hibernate. It's kind of fun little pun. He's just kind of chilling out. It's like, oh, this is great. This is all we want. This is fantastic. The mother is happy about the porridge, I think is what's in the bowls, right? It's like a porridge, and the through line is like, oh, just all like it should be, like just right, I think was the correct phrasing. But Goldie is like, no, this is just an illusion. This is just a trick. We wanted to go get the thing. And then she sees that there's the book of fairy tales. Also, small little thing. Apparently, this is like
Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, it's Hansel and Gretel in the fairy tale book. They borrowed that from the library as well.
Yeah,
So
apparently separately.
Yeah, this is kind of funny. The little library card. But yeah, she drew like a little thing in there with like two people, and this is where it starts to become clear. It's like, oh, she wants like a human family, an actual family, as she puts it a little later. While the bears are like, oh, this is great. We just have all of us. This is actually just all what we want. It's just right. This is just right.
Yeah. Contentment.
Yeah.
And I think this also reinforces what the map is actually doing. It's kind of like the map is less about the wish, but more about giving the person who holds that map a better perspective about the things they have been doing in their life and what they want, or what they actually have. Like the situations you get into when you have that map, they can just give you like another perspective of life. I guess is where I was trying to go to. Because while the bears, they get in there, it's like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what we want. Like, we just want to hang out with the family and just have a good time, basically. But Goldie just sees like, oh, right, this is what I had. This is what I want. And probably getting the wrong lesson from that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just the line that the day our world became just right, that hit me. That hit me where I live. That really hit me where I live. That was a very poignant line. Very good use of the the classic fairy tale language there.
Yeah. Right. Well, what's next? Oh, I think next, Puss in Boots apologizes to Kitty, right? Yeah.
Kitty,
yeah.
As they're climbing that tree.
Yeah. It's just like basically Puss in Boots mans up and confronts the fear he has for this scenario, I guess you could say. It's like, hey, I'm sorry for not showing up. Puss in Boots not supposed to be afraid, but I was afraid that day. And then she says, well, it's all good because I actually didn't show up either. Because I know I could have never competed with your real, true love. And he's like, oh, what's that? It's like, oh, yourself.
Yeah. The legend, the one man, the going out on his adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Because he loves the legend that is himself. Like, he's obsessed with that legend of who he is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that he can't appreciate, what is actually real and around him. It's good. Good stuff.
Yeah, but she also realizes, oh, but you don't seem to be that guy anymore. You seem to have changed.
Yeah, something's changing.
Yeah.
This adventure, there's something happening on this adventure.
That changes him as a person.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and then we get the scene with Jack Horner and Jiminy Cricket.
I sent you that picture, right? I did a screenshot and sent that to you.
Oh, yeah. The one of the best frames. One of the best single frames.
Yeah, because Jack is just being home. Just look at this. He got the baker's dozen to make a human bridge he can walk over.
And then poor little Jiminy
More of a
Cricket's
baker's
trying to be
quartet
his-
at this point.
He's trying to be like, a psychologist, and then
Yeah.
Jack Horner's like, I never had much as a kid, just loving parents and stability and a mansion, and a thriving baked goods enterprise for me to inherit.
Yeah. You know,
Useless crap
the
like
usual.
that. Yeah. It's
Said a
just-
bad
I think
word.
Because it's at this point when it's like, oh, you're just like the worst.
You're just, yeah.
There is no secret here. There is no explanation
Yeah.
or like this side that's more sympathetic. He's just a selfish jerk. And then he reveals, like his wish, the thing that will make him happy is having all the magic so that nobody else has it, essentially. And look at Jiminy Cricket.
It's like,
Look
oh
at him.
god.
Is
Oh
that
my
so
goodness.
much? And then, it's like, and then bringing over the horse and carriage.
And they
all
just
over
crash
the
into the
bakers.
canyon.
And it falls because the physics, of course, they fell.
Yeah.
And then the one baker left. It's like, oh, you gonna help her, are you?
You're not chatty, are you? Wait, let me get that frame.
Oh no! Oh, that was horrible. Your wish was horrible. You're horrible.
You're horrible.
Look at him. Look at him.
Oh,
It's great.
I love
The
that
breaking.
frame. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so
Oh,
good.
the
You're
breaking
an
of Jiminy
irredeemable
Cricket.
Monster. Oh, what took you so long, idiot?
Idiot just flicks him
Objection.
away.
Yeah.
Objection.
Oh, it's
Right.
fantastic.
Yeah, this is like the film making the declaration. Jack Horner is just a bad person.
He's just a
through and
bad
through.
person.
He is just selfish and evil.
Yeah, just the
You're
whole.
ugly on the inside.
Oh, yeah, just this whole. Oh, what took you so long, idiot? Like,
Yeah.
Flick.
Well, yeah, the fact that he fully embraces that he's just a bad person, just getting whatever he wants.
yeah, it's great.
Well, the thing that makes it, because I mean, generally, be like, so he's just evil. He's just evil. Wow, lame. It's like, well, when you have Death, who has his own agenda, and then Goldilocks, who's much more sympathetic. It's like you've got each of the villains or antagonistic opposing forces. They each have their own dynamic to them, to where you can just have Jack Horner be an irredeemable monster,
Yeah.
as the film puts it, and it's totally fine. And he's really
Yeah.
funny, which helps.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then he looks at the at the one
Yeah.
lady. He's like, "You're not a chatty one, are you?" And she just goes like, "Mm-mm."
No.
Just shakes her head.
Sweet mother of goose.
Yeah. Oops. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. What was next here? Too many windows open. Oh, is that the bear encounter? Oh yeah, they have like their encounter going on. It's just another. I think it's basically just one of the next action scene, isn't it? Yeah, they're just all kind of chilling in there, kind of sleeping, and they try to yoink the map, but it doesn't work out that well. And then they get kind of clever though, because they use the map to actually escape the situation. But Goldilocks throws her little I don't even know what that's supposed to be, staff at the map and traps it. So now this plane of existence, I don't even know where exactly they are right now in terms of the map. Not the map here, like the map of the world of the universe. I don't know where all these words came from. So basically they it's kind of in between transformations right now is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. So why do I have sexual harassment written in my notes here? I'm trying to remember what the hell that could actually be referring to.
Because, I don't know, Kitty making him dance? I don't know. That's the only thing I
It
can
happens right before the map transforms everything, so it's something before that. I don't know.
Yeah. As someone just points out in chat, because I've written that down as well. It's funny how she can't get to them because she happens upon the too soft bed, which is kind of fun because they kind of set that up earlier because we see it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, they grab the map together, and they look quite happy. It's like, yay, we like each other now. And now, because she grabs the map, everything transforms again, and they get separated from Perito and the other one. So they have our good doggo now,
No,
which is bullshit.
I am sad now. How dare you make me sad? Movie. Also, I like
Yeah.
that the three bear, like Goldilocks, is apparently her soul is less fucked up than either Puss in Boots or Soft Paws, because all she got was a fucking forest with a cabin in it.
That's true. And it's like, hey, they got Perito, and actually quite nice. Puss was, oh, it's no problem. We got the map. We can just look on the map. And of course, because he touches the map, it transforms again. It's like, no, don't touch it. And now these two are separated as well.
Yeah, should have worn gloves, pussy.
Nice one. But yeah, unfortunately, they just happen to be on top of the lost soul thingy. Was this cave of lost souls? And he just gets trapped in it immediately. And
how inconvenient.
Yeah, that's pretty inconvenient. But
I guess it makes sense because it would be in the same place as the cabin would be.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that makes some sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows her the map. It's like, hey, you get Perito. I will find a way out of here, and then we meet up afterwards. And they're doing like the little hand thing. It's like, yeah, I'll see you again.
Yeah, we're gonna hand.
So yeah, Puss in Boots goes inside the cave and basically finds his lost soul.
Himself.
He finds his 8 lives that he lost. And
yeah, when the writers said that Puss in Boots was going to go on a journey of self-discovery, they really, they really ran with it.
Yeah, they did. Covers himself. And they're basically like having a little party off screen while other things are happening.
I love Swole Puss.
Drunk one there too.
Right.
Oh, hello, Sexbots.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, now we get the scene with with the bleeping. So basically they set a trap because like, oh, they're coming back for the dog. And yeah, the baseline of it is, oh, hey, Goldies, you're like really lucky. You have all these, you have this great family who just bickers and roasts each other, and curse at each other. It's pretty great. And he tells her, from one orphan to another, you won the orphan lottery, which is a funny line, but just recontextualizes it for her as well.
Did Bruce Wayne win the orphan lottery?
But yeah, Perito's like super into it. Like Baby and Goldilocks are just roasting each other. He's like, oh, he goes like, oh shit, oh, what you gonna say now? He's like super into it.
Yeah, like, oh snap.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, what are you gonna say
damn.
now?
You got burned.
Just look at Perito down there. Look, he's like, oh god.
Oh, look how flat that bear's face goes.
Yeah. But yeah, then Perito's like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna join in now. And then he basically goes like, oh, you're gonna be like the beep, 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 beep. Just probably like 10
like
beeps in a row.
Knuckle dragging.
Yeah, he goes
yeah.
nuts. And like, just look at Mama Bear and Goldie go like, holy shit, he's going nuts.
It's a good joke.
It's a
like,
very good joke. I love it.
I really like it. Yeah, like I'm
just
in the mix now.
Yeah.
Well, it just goes to show that the nicest people have the foulest mouths sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I like that that Papa Bear goes like, oh man, I like the jib on that one. he loves it. He's like, oh, I kind of like this one now. Yeah. Perito is a true gamer at heart.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, Kitty steals him back, and that's
Switches him with a porcupine or a Wait, what's it called? Yeah, porcupine, and then then they get trapped in their own bear trap.
Yeah, but now we get another wolf scene. Hell yeah!
We're singing and dancing with himself.
Yeah,
and talking about how cool he is. Yeah,
it's like, oh come on, one more song. He's like, nah, I need to get going now. Which is quite the opposite from the beginning, where he lost his last life.
Yeah. And actually, I'm in my notes. You can see I actually captured my thought process in this scene in 4K. That's pretty funny.
Oh, it's death. It is death.
Yeah, it's just like I'm questioning how it's. Oh, I do have questions about how he's getting around. It's like, oh wait, he is death. Oh my. Oh, I was right. It's like how it's like I was too trusting of the film. You see, this, I should have been soft pause this whole time.
Yeah. But yeah, he's about to leave.
He says
well,
because they're all trying to convince him to stay, and then something that because they're all like, yeah, Puss in Boots, he walks alone, like he's alone. And then he basically realizes, he says, was the legend so big there was no room for anyone else? Hard cut to him looking over the church.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bleak looking shot as well. It's like, oh, I like that. That's a good cut there.
Yeah, yeah, I'll throw it up on screen as well. It's like, it's pretty dark and like muddy almost, the way it's drawn.
Yeah.
It's pretty good representation of what it felt like when he decided not to go there, I will say.
Yeah.
And then after that, they all start making fun of him. All of the other old Puss in Boots, they're saying he's like a loser, he's scared.
Yeah.
Cat. Yeah.
Yeah, now he gets confronted.
You guys are all jerk.
By death once again. And we get to hear, it's like, why he's actually doing all these things. And it's like, hey, I was there for all these deaths, for every single one of them, and you didn't even notice. Every frivolous death, I was there, and you didn't appreciate a single one of them. And
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That like, he probably really hates Puss in Boots. It's like, you got more lives than like anybody else has, and because of it, you took him for granted. You didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like that sort of arrogance seems to really piss him off. Like, he really doesn't like it. But yeah, now he's got him, pinned, right? He's got no more lives left, no more protection.
Yeah.
No more second chances.
He also says that he finds the ideas of 9 lives basically nonsense, and now he's here to take the last one for himself.
Yeah.
And I think Puss in Boots even says like, but I'm still alive now, and he goes like, oh well, don't tell anyone then.
Yeah, that can be corrected.
Yeah.
The fact that he's like, yeah, no, I'm death, not metaphorically, like I'm death straight up.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah. He's just death, and he's come to kill him.
Oh yeah.
He's nice and scary.
Yeah, he's very threatening. Yeah, Puss runs away immediately.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fan art of this guy. He looks great.
Oh, there's already.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch on my Twitter as well.
Favorite.
He's
yeah, I have no doubt.
I mean, look at this frame as well when he's running away. It's
yeah.
Oh, how they play with color,
going red, and there's like all the faces of death.
Yeah, and then walking up and just telling him to run because he enjoys that. He loves it. He's afraid.
He wants to get that arrogant, legendary Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's as he bursts out of the cave. Then Kitty and Perito are there, but he's terrified, so he just keeps running. Doesn't wait for him.
Yeah. Obviously, they don't know that. Kitty immediately assumes she's been double crossed again.
Mm-hmm. It's just because he hasn't told him. He hasn't told him he's actually being pursued by death. Like,
yeah,
or anybody really at all.
Yeah. In the way he just slowly, Death doesn't need to run. He just slowly creeps up and he still
Yeah.
catches up no matter what. That's just
Yeah.
what Death is.
Well, it's just you can't outrun him.
Yeah.
Nope.
And Puss makes his way right to the big old star, which again,
Yep.
it just looks so good.
Looks really cool. Yeah.
I mean,
Looks
the
very
lighting,
cool.
the way. I mean, I'm just gonna show it. Like, just look at this. It just looks so good.
Oh yeah,
Fantabulous.
they went hard. They went hard.
They sure did. It's quite fantabulous. Yeah. Yeah, the music throughout is also very good, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that yet. Music is it's good stuff.
Yeah, my only nitpick with the music is that Puss in Boots song, which is still excellent. And during those first notes, I can hear the auto tuning a little bit on Antonio.
Oh, really? Okay.
Voice, yeah, but that's just because I know what to listen for because I had to mix Mr. Edge guy. So, I am that is very much a me like knowing what I'm listening for thing rather than it being like something that's really going to ruin it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
It's like the stormtrooper hitting his head.
The next scene is Goldilocks.
Right.
As they're like
Yes.
looking through the forest. At which point, there was a pretty smooth transition as well, where like the star pattern is like sort of the silhouette in the tree. Well, I guess the negative space in the trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it's like finally,
There it is.
Baby Bear is just like, what are we doing? Like, why are we here? Why'd you lead us into this forest?
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, she says like a family, a proper one, then everything will be just right. And it's like, oh, just right means not us.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kind of mean.
But despite
Yeah.
that, Mama Bear's still like, well, if that's what will make you happy, then we'll do that for you. Which it's just further emphasizing like how good she's got it.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they'd be willing to help her do that, even if it means that they get cut out of her life. We do work for our characters, man.
Yeah.
We give it.
Yeah,
we
well,
give them some.
Yeah, well, at this point in the film, I actually wrote down the note. Every character is motivated, and it's so great to see. Like, I can identify why each character is doing what they're doing, and it's great.
And I mean, in some sense, somebody could be like, well, yeah, but it's all because they have like one core motivation. It's like, you know what? One clear core motivation is better than just a muddled mess of conflicting motivations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do what you do well. Don't like complexity is impressive when done well,
When
but
done
that doesn't
well.
mean that. Yeah, but that's the thing. You have to do it well, like anything.
Yeah. I mean, I will keep saying it until we get it a bit more again. Keep it fucking simple once in a while, please. We don't need.
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, I still think that this movie is relatively high variables. You've got a lot of different characters in play.
Yeah,
and
but
not
they
a whole
keep
lot of time.
the singular variables. They're pretty straightforward to
It's
understand.
all bound around a central. Yeah, it's all bound around like a central theme, which I guess we'll be able to talk about at greater length very soon because we're up to the final confrontation.
Exactly. Yeah, because now basically everyone is gonna gather at the star. And yeah, Kitty is like, "Hey, you just double crossed me again. I thought I could finally trust you." And I think she says like,
Yeah.
"You didn't even ask what my wish was," and she basically just wanted someone she can trust because she never had one of those in her life.
Yeah.
And she thought that she finally found one like this. Without magic, like no magic or anything, which I think is something that Perito says earlier in the movie as well.
No magic required.
No magic
in terms
required.
of
Yeah.
push. Yeah.
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 Is this where he tells her that he lost his lives, or is that a little bit later?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the moment.
Because he says he's not Puss in Boots, like he's lost his life, which is that feels like so deliberate. I'm not Puss in Boots. I'm on my last life. It's like that is his perspective. He's not like he is inherently less. He isn't what he thought he was or wants to be because of this. He needs to make this wish to be able to reclaim what he had, the legend essentially. Which Kitty finds like ridiculous, and it basically confirms what she thought, right? Like that he loves himself more than anything else.
Yeah, I still can't compete with your true love. That's what she says, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, get your lives back, just keep them out of mine. Like, oh, but and then
Yeah.
Perito's just like, basically telling him like, no, this is bad. You don't want this. But
Yeah.
then, yeah, like then he finally mentions he's being pursued by like death, literally. But before he can talk about it, everybody's there. Everybody
Yeah.
shows up.
And there's like a pretty cool shot from like a bird's eye view where they're like all surrounded, like in all the corners of
Each corner.
the star.
Yeah. It's got a Western standoff going on. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Yeah, and then we just get a big old action scene that has like a couple of payoffs in there.
Yeah.
I think
and the
my
star lift.
favorite part when it shows all of their faces is that everybody's pretty grimly determined, but Puss is actually quite scared.
Yeah.
He looks really
Yes.
scary. He's clinging onto he's clinging onto that map.
Yeah, and when the star raises into the ground, just raises up from the ground, it kind of reminded me of hey Metal. Remember the Megaton Rainfall playthrough that I did a while back? Well, I think in my notes I have, it's Megaton Rainfall. Oh no, genocide, please.
Please no.
No, wait, that was Omnicide. That's right. It was worse.
But yeah, they have like a bunch of fighting. There's some funny bits in there, some payoffs. Like at one point, Horner shoots the last Baker's Dozen employee, and he just says, "Oh, come on, you walked into that one." And she gets yeeted to the
disintegrated when she leaves the boundary.
Yeah, the boundary. He's like, "Mr. Horner, help me." And he's just like, "Dearly noted, but I'm kind of busy right now." And then she just goes up and disintegrates. Just like, oh, that's grim again.
Yep.
And
A grim fairy tale, if you will.
Yeah, something like that. Then shortly after that, Jack shoots Baby Bear, and he's about to get basically disintegrated.
Yeah.
And then of course it's the setup that's pretty straightforward, right? Like
exactly.
Mama Bear grabs him, then Papa Bear grabs him, but they need one more person. Goldilocks can get a wish right then and there.
Yeah,
but
she has the map.
She's about to realize what really matters, what's right in front of her. It's a good payoff.
Yeah.
Even though it is obviously like a relatively straightforward one of just her realizing, yeah, my family, I always had one all along.
Yeah. Well
it's
done.
Good. Yeah. Exactly. Saves them.
And we have like the thing where she says like, you're the, what was it? I'm the catcher, you're the smasher or something. I forgot the exact line.
I'm grab your smash.
I'm grab your smash. Yeah, exactly.
Or I think that is what she said before, but it's like, yeah, that's the dynamic, but in a positive way rather than negatively, like she was saying before.
Yeah. And also, we just get the best use of the term, how do you like these apples? Because it's literally throwing poison apples as grenades.
They're just like, let's bury the hatchet. And then he gets kicked into his bottomless thing. He's like, I shouldn't have said what I've been doing or something.
Of course, the fact that she can catch the grenades without them exploding because she's
soft paws.
I
think Jack Horner goes like, ugh.
I shouldn't have telegraphed it. I got to use that clip in like a review or something.
Yeah, that's a good clip to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's like he shouldn't have telegraphed.
I should have telegraphed that.
Bottomless. But then comes another one of the contenders for the best scene in the movie.
Yep.
Because Perito grabs him the scroll,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because Perito even says like, I don't think you need it, but if you feel like you need it, then
go right ahead. And then Death just walks through the edge of the star and just slowly walks over and just
with the whistling.
Yep.
And just creates this arena.
Yeah, it creates this vaginal flame arena.
Look at it. Looks so great.
Oh yeah.
The flames and everything the whole time. It's just very good. But yeah, we basically have a similar scene than like in the beginning, where Puss in Boots' life flashes before his eyes again, and he says the same thing. lives
Just
flashing
one
in
life.
front of your eyes.
It's because in
Just
terms
one.
of he's trapped in the arena.
Yeah.
He's got the and Wolf's like, I mean, this is the end though, right? Like, you know, it's been fun, but it's over.
Yeah.
So what choice are you gonna make here? Are you gonna take the coward's way out, obviously, which is just reclaim a bunch of lives, or are you gonna fight? Which that's the dichotomy. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fight or you're gonna run away, right? Fight or flight. Those are your two choices.
Yeah. And then
you like, come on, pick it up.
Pick it
So
up.
he's swinging it.
Yeah.
Right there.
And then he...
yeah, what we see in the flashes that's relevant is that the first time around, a lot of the references were like much older history, but this time around, it changes from the older history to memories of this adventure that he's gone on. So it's everything that's been going on in this life and reconnecting with Kitty and Perito becoming friends with him, and then yeah, he opens his eyes and there's tears running down his cheeks there. And yeah, the Wolf's like, what's the matter? Lives flashing before your eyes? And then, in a much cooler voice than I'm even going to try to emulate, he says, no, just one. I'm done running. Drops the map, picks up his sword. Fear me if you dare. And it's like, oof.
yes.
This is pretty fantastic.
It's awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's
so
a perfect time to
good.
get the sword back.
Yeah. Yes,
absolutely fantastic. And the best part for me is that as this fight was happening, my cat was meowing at the screen like it was cheering on.
You go, Puss in Boots.
Hear me if you dare. I love it. And then they have their really awesome fight as they charge towards each other. And it's really cool visually.
It's great. I wish I could just show the whole fight on stream.
Yeah.
Because
this is it very much flexes a lot of the new things they're doing with the techniques in this film. Lots of smears, motion blurs, casting their silhouette very seamlessly against like the shadows. The fact that the flames themselves look like they've been painted and illustrated rather than like rendered with a simulation, even though they probably were. And I like that the fight as well does the thing right where it's not easy for him. It changes like it's a tough battle.
Yeah,
it's so important what people forget to do in their movies. Don't make it piss easy for the protagonist. It's boring.
Because he gets hit, but the thing that helps him out, because he loses his sword, but he's got the blade
the small blade,
Kitty gave him, that he managed to get, essentially, that she can, like, slot into the legend that's him now. Like, this is something that she gave him that saved his life. And it's like,
absolutely.
Swings around, grabs his hat, grabs his sword, and it's just like... It's cool. I like it a lot. And yeah, even Wolf is kind of like, wait, what's
going on here?
Going on?
Yeah, and because Puss in Boots even gets the upper hand here, he yoinks one of the sickles or scythes out of his hand, and then he just pushes it to him and says, "Pick it up." It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I love it.
Really
it's actually both sickles. Sorry, I just saw that again. I thought it was only one.
Yeah,
and then
I'm the only reason I'm not speaking right now is just because I'm watching the footage on the stream and I'm just grinning like an idiot, just like, oh my god, this is so.
Yeah.
And then you
this
get
is such an amazing fight.
I think it's important to emphasize. I was very, very engaged during the whole fight because I thought it was a real possibility that Puss in Boots just gonna lose. I could have seen that happen.
This is the big confrontation. This is like the real
end of the road,
the showdown. At least in terms of the main thing that Puss is dealing with, rather than the central conflict like with the wishing star. And then he says, like, I know I can never defeat you, but I will never stop fighting for this life, which is essentially like the declaration of the film as a message.
Yeah,
death is inevitable. You can't escape it. You can't outrun it.
But you can fight like hell.
In the face of it. Yeah. Fight for your life, fight for the things that you love. And it's essentially, because right after he says this, Wolf kind of like looks at him and then lunges at him and stops right in front of him, and Puss doesn't flinch. He just stares him directly in the eyes. Because, it's that. And then you see the reflection in the wolf's eyes of Puss, and then you see basically the same reflection in Puss's eyes of Wolf. It's like essentially he's rediscovered his bravery, but he's discovered it through an embracing of his vulnerability, and more so like this grim determination of a mission that even if he can't win, like he'll never stop fighting for it. He'll
Mhm.
always fight for his life, and it's like this is a fantastic payoff.
Yeah, it's really good.
great.
Absolutely.
It's really really good, and it's conveyed. It's like elevated by the animation, by the framing, the cinematography. It's so cool.
Yeah, super well done.
And of course, this is what saves his life because he's not afraid anymore. So now the wolf, it's like, oh, well, this sucks now. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't what I wanted. I didn't want to fight you. I
Yeah, it's
wanted
like,
to
God
fight,
damn,
like,
you're
the other
ruining
guy."
it, he says.
Yeah.
You're ruining this.
Yeah.
You ruined this for me. You know,
Puss
I
is
came
now
here for an
brave.
arrogant little legend,
Yeah.
who thought he was immortal. It's like that's what made him angry, was the idea that Puss basically thought that he was above him.
Mhm.
But now, through recognizing that he's not above him, he has risen above him. You know, like he's risen above death by recognizing his own mortality, and he discovered the value in his own mortality by looking back on the experiences that he had and how meaningful they were to him,
Mhm.
and how they can be meaningful in the future. It's a
Yeah.
really great like core theme.
Yeah, I think the greatest compliment I can give both this fight scene and by extension the rest of the film is that this is going to be one of those films I go back to just for lack of a better term, to steal from, because there is just so much that's worth being inspired by how this film crafts its narrative, crafts its action scenes, and uses it all to tell this story. And there's a script I've written that has some similar scenes to this one, and you can bet that I'm taking notes on how this scene, like, so effectively delivers on its thematic payoffs, as well as just making it a fucking engaging conflict on top of everything else. It's just so well done.
Absolutely.
And then it's our last little bit of, because you gotta savor the moments with the wolf when he just puts his sickles away. Live your life, Puss in Boots. Live it well.
Yeah.
And then
he
the
says,
important line.
yeah, you
go
know
for
we
it.
will see each other again, right? And then he goes off.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so good.
Well, yeah, because it's like, we'll meet again, and he says like, "See,"
See.
I don't know what he says after that because I don't speak Spanish, but I really appreciated that because I wanted that acknowledgement of like, yes, death is inevitable, right? Like you can't essentially defeat him permanently, but I mean he's triumphed over him here.
Yeah.
But it's just that acknowledgement, like, yeah, we'll meet again, like we will, but I'll meet you the same as I did today, right? I'll fight desperately for to preserve this life. It's great, and that's the last we see of the big old wolf.
What a
great
fantastic
villain.
character.
What a great villain.
Absolutely.
And then after that, it's like we see that change, right? Is that Puss in Boots? He's like, no, you can have the wish. Like, I don't need it anymore. I don't want it. But then Kitty's like, well, I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need
she
either.
Got what she, and then she says, yeah, I got what I wished for. No magic required. And then Perito's there, like, yay,
yay!
It's all nice and happy. But it's not over yet.
We're not good all the way done
Not
because
yet.
of course Jack is not done.
Yeah, Mr. Horny.
If you would have, if you paid attention towards the movie, they were like these little Alice in Wonderland cookies that says "Eat me and drink me."
Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, he
Chekhov's snacks.
eats the cookie and becomes very big and gets out of the bag. I like
also,
the
people in chat are saying that what Puss said was basically yes until death in terms of like
okay,
meeting him again. That's neat.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
Sorry, talking about Jack.
Yeah, he comes out, and the first thing he says when he comes out says, "Oh, for a second I thought I would be naked, but my clothes grew too. Cool."
That's such a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this was a good choice they made as a film, because obviously if they don't use those wishes, it's like, well, if you've got the wishing star, now you need to make like a really selfless wish, right? You can't be making some, like, you've got the chance to make a lot of a positive impact on the world here.
Mm-hmm.
If you have it, but the fact that he immediately takes it and we know that his wish can't happen, like, it's more important that it gets destroyed than he's unable to have it. It sets up a scenario where you don't have to deal with like a Wonder Woman sort of situation.
Yes.
Or like any of those situations where, you have like a wish and it's really selfish, or, you don't make the obvious wish for like world peace or something.
Yeah. This is how you deal with these kinds of things. It's,
Or infinite
because-
wishes to do infinite good, that kind of thing.
Well,
like
yeah,
that
because
yeah.
it's better to remove it from play. It's better to make it a non-element anymore. It's this kind of stuff where you're just being a bit more thoughtful about the choices you need to make with your story.
And
Yeah.
not just give everyone the wish they want. Oh my god, that fucking movie, dude. Fucking Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we don't need to think about it.
Oh, what a clown movie. Holy fuck.
Oh, but we do get a payoff here too for little old Perito.
Yeah, because he goes there and it's like, you don't really want to do that, and he does like the cute, or he tries to do the cute look,
He tries.
and then he
He's having a
succeeds.
hernia.
He
Yep.
succeeds for a bit, and he is like, no, don't do it. And Jack Horner's like, oh, it's so cute. Yet you think that would work on me?
But then it's like, oh, what? It didn't. It was a distraction, buying time for team friendship, and also his nose is
Yeah, it's
bleeding
like
too.
also, your nose is bleeding.
Yeah,
The truth is beautiful.
Yeah,
buying
like,
time
I was
for
just
team friendship,
team friendship. Yeah,
which is the whole team. That's everybody, because it's Goldilocks as well.
yeah. They do like a big old team attack, and they do a double Spanish splinter.
Double Spanish splinter, yeah.
And I like every time that happens, everyone just goes like, ooh.
I don't like.
It's such a relatable pain as well.
Yeah.
Where you accidentally slip something under your nails, and it's like, it sucks.
Ugh.
And it's one of those
Multiple
things.
levels of pain.
Every time you touch something wrong, you get it again. And he goes like, god damn it.
I wish you could see my face right now.
Pretty painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do a
They
big
grab-
big old team up, and everyone gets their slash in. They can basically rip apart the the map, which also makes the big old star rip apart. So they are connected. And Jack Horner is trying to get all the pieces, and he gets them all except the little one. And we get revenge for the cricket and the phoenix.
And the Phoenix. Yeah.
And it's like, you.
And then he falls into the thing, and it's like, what did I do to deserve this? And everybody just kind of looks at him like, come on, man.
Well, then he
I
says
mean,
like,
what specifically?
yeah, what specifically? Then he goes down the thing and does like a
He does
thumbs
the
down.
Yeah.
That's like such a great Terminator 2 reference, because usually it's
Yeah,
just the thumb, but this one it's like and it's a double entendre because Jack Horner has the thumb thing on his own as well. So
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah.
all around.
And then after that, the wishing star shoots back up into the sky.
Yeah,
And
and
rains down.
does
all
a
these
bit,
stars.
does an explosion.
Well, it's nice, right? As like a payoff, is that the wishing star gets returned to its place
Mhm.
in the sky.
I approve of this sky laser.
Yes,
No,
I do too.
At least it's not blue.
Yeah.
and then the kitty, says like, we make a wish, and then he's like, Kitty, one life spent with you is all that I could wish for.
Yeah.
And then Burrito's there, and they all sit down and watch the night sky, and it's like, ain't that nice?
Oh, nice, happy,
Ain't that
wholesome
wonderful?
ending.
It's very wonderful. Yeah, it's put a smile on my face. Oh, and they also they
Yeah.
do the resolution as well for Goldilocks as well, of like,
Yeah.
that she's got her family.
Yeah, because they stay together and everyone is nice and happy. It's
Yeah.
it's a nice warm fuzzies on the inside ending. It's neat. It's really neat.
And I mean, it's kind of neat, right? That it's like you mentioned before, that the journey leads them essentially to discover things about themselves that make them realize they don't even need the wish in the first place, or that
Right.
they already got it. It's cool. It's a bit poetic, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly it.
Yeah. And then we get a small scene before the credits. Now Team Friendship is wanted, and they stole the governor's
Terrible
ship.
name.
And
A
they
terrible name that they don't like.
Yeah. It's like, we didn't agree to this. We meant to workshop this. It makes us look stupid.
Yeah.
Well, they have like all these wigs on. And yeah, they're on their way to a land far, far away. Go visit some old friends,
Which-
they say.
As
I
the
wasn't
Shrek
ready for
theme.
that. I was not ready for that.
Yeah, I was
Like,
surprised. I was like, oh
big
shit.
cannon far, far away, the castle, and yeah, like you said, the music as well. It's like, wow, we Shrek 5, goddamn.
Let's
Maybe.
do it. If it's like if it's as good as this,
Somebody-
let's do it.
If it's like this, I'd happily have another one. Hell yeah.
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 And that's the end of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Which,
It is.
by the way, talking about it has I already really liked it, but it has raised my my estimation of the film. Talking about it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that when you go back through it again, it's like the clear, deliberate nature of building up a lot of these payoffs and just like how cohesive it is narratively and character-wise. It's like, yeah, this film is great.
It is pretty great, yeah. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. Everyone go watch
isn't
it. It's very much worth your time.
Absolutely. And isn't it nice when this happens, when you talk about something and it doesn't get worse?
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, when it gets
It's not-
better, that is real nice when that happens.
Yeah,
Um,
I completely agree.
yeah, it's a really, really strong movie.
It's really, really good. I'm gonna be showing it to people, I think, if I have the
This is
chance.
an easy one. I think everybody will like it. I don't see how anybody watches this and goes, "That was lame." I just don't see it.
Yeah.
This to me feels like one of those safe movies to recommend. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to enjoy it. Everybody's going to pull value from it, I think. Which
I
is
think so
funny
too.
that it does that by, in a sense, going for a more mature sort of theme. That in that sense it almost becomes more universal.
Yeah. Though if someone does shit on it, that'll be EFAT material, no doubt. Why Puss in Boots is worse than you think. Do.
do.
That's that's in the title. Do.
Yeah. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah.
Who'd have thought that they would do a deconstruction and reconstruction of Puss in Boots?
That is crazy. It's like one of
It
these
is alright.
things. Like, that was not on my bingo card.
No, and they did it right. Like deconstructions, like so many people do them wrong, but this is an example of how you do it, like how you do it well.
Yes, because I saw several people point that out in chat, right? This is like an actual deconstruction that's really strong, where you deconstruct them and build them back up again.
Yeah, because what a deconstruction should be is you see its core components and then why it functions.
Yeah, well, it's like this is what you think they are. That's not what they are. This is what they need to be. Kind of like that as a structure.
Just
Exactly it.
James in chat, no bullshit. Problem number 1, too many Mexicans.
Yep, I could see that. I could see. Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we get some people to watch that movie because it deserves it.
It's had good word of mouth by the sounds of things. I think that it's because like when it opened, it wasn't like everybody was watching it, but I don't think it's dropped much either. It's been pretty consistent for the last few weeks.
nice. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It's about 300 million. But there was the something that I saw that this year is the first year either ever or in a long time where every DreamWorks film outgrossed every Disney film, every
Good.
Disney animated film.
That's
The
good
bad
news.
guys at this performed better than Lightyear and Turning Red and Strange. Well, Turning Red wasn't theatrically released, and Strange World. It's not been a good year for Disney animation this year because Lightyear was a massive bomb. This film cost half as much money as Lightyear, and it's made more money.
Oh yeah, Lightyear
got-
happened. Did anybody watch that?
I don't think anybody watched it, and there was an expectation that it was going to make a lot of money, but it didn't. It just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when we talk about like obviously nominees or for best animated film, like this has got to be it, right? Like this has to be the one that wins.
Right.
Please.
Has to.
Dude,
It's
can you imagine
really
if
good.
this got nominated and it was also like Lightyear or something and that won?
It's like, how did that get? How did that go?
No, my guess would be that the real possibility would be that Turning Red could win it instead, which I'm not sure how many of you have seen Turning Red, but that film's got a lot of plot problems. Like that film is not strong at all when it comes to the plot.
Oh man.
I
Good
just want
stuff.
all of the accolades to be thrown at this movie.
Yeah, it deserves it. It Puss
Yeah.
in Boots deserves it.
It lives up to the hype, which is not a sentence that I say lightly.
Yes, that's true.
Well, it's just this is what happens when you tell a great story. You get people really enthused and happy to talk about it and keep talking about it.
Exactly.
Because like the film's been out for like a month and everybody's still talking about it, and they're talking about different things each time. I saw a lot of people initially were talking about Wolf. A lot of people were talking about the animation. A lot of people now are talking about the panic attack scene.
Yeah.
Like everybody's to the point that it feels like everybody's kind of stealing each other's ideas. Like, there was like a viral tweet about the panic attack. I'm gonna do it too. So I can get some of
I think I also
juicy
saw it compared to Velma, because I think that has like a panic attack thing.
Well, yeah, because Velma has a panic attack scene that is ridiculous, and as has been pointed out, because one of the viral tweets pointed this out, in Velma, she gets over her panic attack by denigrating somebody else and their feelings.
Right.
It's like, wow, that's pretty immature compared to what was presented in this seemingly kids movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Fucking Velma. Like the whiplash.
Velma in relation to... Don't do it. Just let it die.
Nobody likes that movie.
Yeah.
Show. I mean...
It was such whiplash going from the EFAP reaction to Velma to watching Puss in Boots, which is just such night and day.
Dude, when I saw that going live, I was like, oh, thank fuck I was asleep when that happened, probably.
That was a pretty painful experience. I will never watch another episode of that show. I'm never going to watch it again. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it takes a lot to break you guys.
It's like it's a really stinky sock you don't want to touch ever again.
It's not even like Batwoman. Batwoman is funny. Like there can be bad stuff that's funny, but like not.
Velma was just mean spirited. It was just like ugh.
It's a very mean spirited show. Yeah, it's
gross. It's nasty. I don't like it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only silver lining is that now people are just sharing a bunch of stuff from other Scooby-Doo shows just to wash the taste out.
That's right. That's right, yeah.
I mean, Velma actually dethroned Dragon Ball Evolution in the IMDb ratings.
Oh god!
By a whole point, I think. Like it's
yes,
god.
It's one of the lowest rated things ever on IMDb.
I need to watch Dragon Ball Evolution for like an April Fool's Forge or something. I've never actually watched that. And I grew up with Dragon Ball, but even back then I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. That looks horrible.
I think you can at least laugh at Dragon Ball Evolution.
Probably, yeah.
You can't
yes, you can. You can't laugh at Velma. It's trying to be funny and it's not funny. So it's kind of the worst combo.
Oh, why would you do this? I think my prediction for Velma is that Scooby-Doo is either going to be the brain harvester or he's going to be a product of the brain harvester, and he's going to be a creature that is created through all these brains that have been harvested and put into a dog.
So they're just going to do the Scooby-Doo movie, except instead of Scrappy-Doo, it's Scooby-Doo.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. Or at least a variant of that prediction, yeah.
Someone pointed out that this movie gave Puss 2 therapy dogs, Perito and Death.
Oh, true. That's the thing I didn't mention as well. Like, a wolf is such a fitting image of death for a cat.
Yeah. For sure.
Character on, goddamn.
Let's do let's do them super chats, and then
yeah, sure.
I'll let you to freedom and me to bed, probably. We'll see. Let's see. Did you enjoy the film poetically, rhetorically, metaphorically, theoretically, objectively, or in any other fancy way? Yes.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think those apply.
Yeah. No. I enjoyed it in every way. It's pretty darn Gucci. Hi, Fringy and Meme. Who's the new guy? I didn't catch his name. I think it's like Mortal. I don't know. I'm not gonna have him on again. He's pretty cringe.
Metalcommander.
Puss is love. Puss is life. Damn right. Goddamn
Damn straight.
Right.
Live by the puss, die by the puss, right?
Let me see in chat here. Someone added me. I don't know if you mentioned it, but the movie's really good at being watchable by anyone, regardless of not having seen Puss in Boots 1. I think it deserves recognition for that. Yeah, I think we touched upon that.
We touched on it.
Because I haven't seen any of the older movies. I think I watched Shrek 1 and 2. That's the last one I watched in that universe, I guess.
I mean, again, like Puss in Boots 1 is over 10 years old. There would be an expectation, I think, that a large amount of people who'd be watching the film either didn't see it or don't remember it.
This is a great film in a metaphorically, rhetorically, poetically, theoretically, objectively, in every other fancy way. It's great, straight up. Yes. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
In Polish dub, Cricket swears on Christian Andersen. Okay. Excalibur and the Sword and the Stone are different swords. 1 out of 10 movie. Into the trash. Wow, yeah, worthless. I'll take everything back from the movie now.
Yeah. An
Uh,
easy mistake to make.
it's Fringy the cricket moodle. Oh, it's green, yeah. Fair enough. See, Fringy, now you're cricket too. You gotta get to be all the
Everything's
animals.
green. Yeah. Jiminy Cricket seems like a nice guy though, so
Yeah.
that's nice.
Has anyone called you a tree yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we still have life forms to go through.
There's good in everyone. There's good in everybody. So good. You're horrible. I'd watch because I really want to get back into animation topics, but I need to watch this first. I'll watch this when I've watched it. Yeah, sure, go for it.
You should watch
Do
it.
it.
Yeah, watch
Absolutely.
the movie.
And then come back and enjoy the coverage. Furries really like Death Wolf. 723 picks on E621. I guess that's the furry side or something. I legitimately don't know. But I can guess. I can deduct. But you know what? I believe you. I believe you. And then the only thing I know for real plays from Revengeance. Rules
I
of
made it the
nature.
fuck up.
Shrek 5, re-Shrek gens. Re-Shrek gens. Yeah, there you go.
The Shrekening.
And we got one last one. Glad you covered this. It probably wouldn't have been on my radar otherwise. Yes, very good. Very good. Go watch it, everyone. It's very, very good. Let's see if there's any donations on the super Streamlabs, I mean. Doing a little reload on all them flim-flams, but I think I got them all.
Yeah.
No, just people following my Twitch. Guys, stop following my Twitch. I'm not doing anything in there anymore. Right. Yeah, that's that. Good stuff. Yeah, go watch it again. I can't say enough good things about this movie. It's really good. It's really, really good. And
Fuck yeah,
yeah.
dude.
I think that was a pretty successful first Forge of the year. I'm pretty
think
happy.
so.
I would say so.
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for
With
joining
all,
me.
what, 300 of you.
It's been fun. Yeah, I'm still baffled that's happening now. From time to time, there's a lot of people here. It's good stuff. I really appreciate everyone watching and enjoying these little forges. And on my way
another super chat.
to 5K on this channel as well.
Wait.
Yeah, it's almost overtook the archive channel now, which obviously was running for way longer. But yeah, consistency pays off. That's another tip for you if you do YouTube. Try to be consistent.
Yeah.
Nah, take another super. Well, thank you very much. And another one without any comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, what I mean, you I think you guys didn't really have anything else to promote. I think Fringy said you're just working as always, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some Dead Space streams.
But yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The link is down below for Fringy. Go check it out. There's a very good endgame video you can watch. Go check it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should do that.
Like 7 months ago.
Meme, how's your Kevin Conroy stream coming along?
Just getting the clips together now. I have 99 clips for this stream. I dug up like all. Yeah, I went through like all of his major podcast and appearances, dug up old interviews, and found a bunch of old clips that were just uploaded directly to YouTube, which means the like there's 10 hours of his appearance on the there's this old soap opera he was on, and people just upload all the episodes in these 10-hour chunks because they didn't submit them to the YouTube copyright bot, so I can just steal them apparently. So that'll be nice. So there's a lot of different clips, so I'm just editing them at the moment, and theoretically this Wednesday. Awesome. I want it to be this Wednesday. I really do, because I just want to chunk that, then get Aquaman out, and then go into the ocean, and all of that after editing Aquaman. How fitting. Just occurred to me. Yeah, so that's mine. That's my lot at the moment. Hopefully this Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
Good shit. All the links down below. Yeah.
Yeah.
As for me, I'm gonna be streaming some more Dead Space. Gonna finish up the OG one. Then I might stream something else in between finishing the OG one and the remake. But that's definitely gonna happen. I will stream something random game-wise, or just take the time to work more on my John Wick 2 script, which I've been trying to be full force on. Try to do something on that every day if possible. So hopefully that's gonna be a thing in, I don't know, a month or two. I don't know. We'll see. Every time I go back to it, there's just more things I see that's bad. John Wick 2 is very bad. That's my conclusion so far. That might be the video that makes me a bit unpopular online. We'll see. But it's going to be worth it, I'm sure. Yeah, lots of things to come. Next Forge is going to be the Del Toro Pinocchio. I think, Fringy, you wanted to join in on that as well. I think I already coaxed you in on that.
I just got to finally get around to watching it.
I mean, me too. Yeah, but pretty much.
Same.
I know, Meme, if you want to join, if you have time.
Well, I want to. It'll push me to watch the film, so I think I'll join that one. Okay. Sure, if it lines up at a time I'm not in the ocean, but yes,
sure. Yeah, it might be probably like Friday or Sunday, the usual days. Well, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's the next one, and we'll see. Hopefully, the Dead Space remake is going to be good, because that's the next thing that's going to be covered on the Forge. I already coaxed in John CJG on that, so that should be good fun.
Hell yeah.
That should be good stuff. And after that, we got a little bit of sludge coming around. Because if I look at my whiteboard over there, we got Knock at the Cabin coming out, the Shyamalan movie. I never know how to say his name. Shyamalan, I think it is. That's coming out. I'll probably give that a watch. I don't know how his movies were the last couple of times. I don't even know if I've seen them. Don't really know what he's been up to. I'm gonna do some research on that, of course. And then we got Ant-Man and Quantumania. I don't expect that to be any good, but I'm sure that's gonna be covered here and on EFAB. I would be surprised if you guys don't do that on the EFAB.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
And after Ant-Man is Atomic Heart. That's coming out as well. So yeah. As promised last year, I'm gonna do more gaming forges, because I like games and I want to talk about them more. And I think people want to see some more gaming coverage from our sphere, I guess, because it's not that much. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I think we mostly did movies the last couple of years. It was like the occasional. I think like Resident Evil was in there, then Elden Ring and Ragnarok. I think was the big ones, but I think that was about it. I think I would need to check back, but yeah, I like talking about movies. I like playing movies, and I stream. I meant games. I'm just losing my train of thought here. It's getting late. I meant games. I mean like movies too. You know what I mean, Chad. Don't yell at me. You yell at me anytime.
Yeah, anyway. Chad. Fuck you.
But yeah, you'll see that. Yeah, lots of things to planned on my end. I'm going pretty hard is my plan for this year, and see what happens.
You said hard.
Very hard.
I'm glad we have confirmation. Oh, I got a funny story before we go, because you mentioned Quantumania. Because so Quantumania comes out when I'm going to be in New Zealand. So my brother like just messaged like just a group chat. It was just like, hey, this is coming out in New Zealand when we're out there. Who wants to go see it in New Zealand? And all I'm thinking is, I'm on vacation. I don't want to sit through a modern Marvel movie while I'm on vacation. I want to enjoy myself. So I'm probably gonna say, oh, you know, I want to enjoy the vacation. You know, I want to see the sights while I'm there. I can watch it when I get home if I watch it. So it'll be fun. Oh God.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for subscribing and all that good stuff. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for joining me, guys. It was fun. And yeah, I'll catch you all on next Forge, next gaming stream, wherever it's gonna be. And yeah, we're gonna peace out of here. Goodbye.
All right, see you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh my.
That was scary.
Yeah.